Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the DC Extended Universe.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's okay, Theo, because guess what? They made a good one.
Oh wait, hold
They
on.
made a good one.
Not
Surely,
just,
yes.
not
surely
actually, it's not just a good one. It's actually a pretty
great
dang awesome one.
And I'm here for a DC movie. I wonder why that could be.
Well, to be
But
fair, sure,
basically-
you've been around for a few animated ones, but it's your first
basically
live
for the-
action one.
Basically, audience, for the first time ever, the DCEU is actually giving the MCU something they actually have to try and one up.
True,
Exactly.
true. This was
Captain-
actually a year.
Basically, Shiro, basically, Shiro, and for the sake of the audience who might not be familiar with Wonder Woman was originally made by a man who you can kind of call the first feminist of sorts, because he was a guy who genuinely believed that women were literally more capable of empathy than men. Literally, he literally thought that.
Someone called. He was a psychologist, by the way. It was a man called Marston. Never mind the fact that he kinda had a bondage fetish, but that's another topic.
It's basically he literally said that men were literally incapable of being as nice as women. Literally.
That's
So
not true.
his wife and him created Wonder Woman as a way to create some kind of propaganda to contradict the fact that women were not exactly treated best in American society at the time.
It was the golden age, so it has many flaws and stuff that would thankfully get redone and reworked later. And then again, and then again.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, I'm almost done. Regardless of that, Wonder Woman was literally a big inspiration for a lot of young girls at the time, specifically Patty Jenkins, the director of this movie, who is a huge Wonder Woman fangirl, and now she gets to direct again. And remember, this is the first time we made a superhero live-action movie where the protagonist is a woman, so this is, of course, a big thing in today's society. And
Or at least the first one that's the first one that was good.
Oh yeah. Sorry, this is right. Okay, let me rephrase
Live
that.
action wise. Anyway, we have a lot of
Catwoman,
great.
We just got done watching Catwoman.
Well, that's why I said live action wise, because believe it or not,
regardless of that, this is a very important movie for the superhero genre. Regardless of that, so obviously we have to have Shiro in here because, might as well, considering the subject matter. So everybody get ready before the Warner Brothers logo. You should be seeing a black screen before. So you should be in sync with us. So 3, 2, 1, click.
I'd say this is the first good live-action superheroine film because we actually had quite a few good animated ones.
Basically, Shiro.
I think you're referring to the DC cinematic bullshit.
Yeah, basically, Shiro. The MCU also is making right now Captain Marvel, which is their female superhero movie. So this is the movie they have to one up now.
How ironic is it that both Captain Marvel and Captain Shazam both have dodgy-looking outfits in the behind-the-scenes footage?
Yeah.
Because, funnily enough, Captain Shazam used to be called Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, the DC version.
There you go, Shiro. This is the logo of the DCEU. Basically,
Which
all right,
is
let me get. Yeah, it's fine.
Wait, hold on. Why is Green Lantern in that? They haven't even established Green Lantern.
And
in
also
the DCEU.
Hawkman.
All right, hold on, guys. All right, Shiro. I can literally bring you up to speed in literally seconds. Man of Steel was a gigantic rapage of Superman mythology. Batman v Superman was an abomination that needs to die in hell. Suicide Squad was a fucking mess. And that's basically it. And this is now the first one that is actually not embarrassing.
To speak, Now, joking aside,
But this is a prequel.
And we
actually, Tio, this technically starts as a sequel, then goes into prequel territory.
Yeah. Basically, we start in the present here, and then we flash back to the.
Oh no,
70s.
we're in the Da Vinci Code. Run away before Tom Hanks steals the scene.
What does Da Vinci have to do with
one of the wisest things that they did with this movie was, aside from of course taking the basic premise from the comics, the source material, they've drawn Patty Jenkins drew inspiration from two of my favorite superhero films of all time. Specifically, the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve and Captain America: First Avenger, because a lot of the structure and the overall beat that this movie takes follow that basic thing about a woman, where much like Captain America was a man out of his time, Wonder Woman is also kind of a woman out of her element. So they follow the same, and it very wisely, if you ask me, because it did turn out a great movie, just like those two.
That's also fits with the golden age. Similar to Superman, Wonder Woman, one of the first Wonder Woman story was also her punching Hitler in the face.
And they greatly cut down on the bad habit that most cinematic universes have of just throwing in references saying, "Look, we got a cinematic universe."
I mean, look, okay. When you're at the point of the MCU, it's okay to do that stuff because you've established it well enough in Phase 1. X-Men and DC did not do it that best.
Universe.
Oh, right, the Dark
All right,
Universe.
basically, this is Diana Prince, our protagonist. Oh.
No worries.
And
All
here
right,
we
now
have
we
little
actually
young
flash back to
Diana.
the beginning of it all.
I hope she doesn't miss the entire origin story.
It takes like the first.
The island of Themyscira.
Hey,
It takes up like the entire first act.
hey, guys! I found out this crazy idea. You know how we can make origin films actually be liked?
Color.
Actually tell it well.
Not just that, actually doing an origin story of a character who's never really had their origin story on the live-action screen. I mean, just gonna say this right now, but Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, I don't know, guys. I get the feeling that fans kind of already know about them.
Jova, you will need to see the Wayne get shot for the 50th time and you have to like it.
In the meantime, Dwebs, why don't you tell us about the story and script writers of this one?
All right, basically, the story credit's been the story credit has quite. Let me just get the page up.
Did I mention that the writer from Pan was involved in this?
Yeah. The story was written by 3 people. Jason Fuchs, who was the writer of Pan.
Oh, so that's how we're pronouncing it now.
Alan Heinberg, an experienced comic writer who also wrote this film's screenplay.
Good.
And, of all people, Zack Snyder.
Which, again, that doesn't surprise me, because Zack Snyder does have good ideas. The problem is often the team he's with.
He doesn't know how to put it to those ideas to good use.
He sometimes knows how to put them to good use, but often he has a bad team behind them. Oh yeah, that too.
Oops.
Oh, by the way, just gonna say this right now. It's unclear what exactly happened. What we do know, though, with Justice League is that we ain't gonna be seeing his vision there. Yeah. I'll give
And she
Whoa.
died.
That was a bit of a weird green screen effect.
Yeah.
Well, I believe this is.
Wait, that's
think this is-
Hippolyta?
I think this
No.
is the first time Patty Jenkins
see
has
too,
worked
you'll
with
see.
I think this is the first time Patty Jenkins has had a big budget.
Yeah, it's interesting. The great thing about Patty Jenkins' direction in this movie is that unlike Zack Snyder and to a lesser extent David Ayer, she actually uses a color palette that uses actual
Hold on,
colors.
wait. When was David Hayter a director?
No, Ayer.
Oh, David Ayer. It's just like, well, the way you said it sounded like Hayter.
Anyway, Shiro, essentially that girl you see is Wonder Woman as a child.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now, to sum up the way the universe is...
her name is Diana.
Yeah.
Basically. Go ahead, Jova. Go ahead.
To basically sum up
Oh, is that woman off House of Cards?
The way to
Go ahead,
sum up
Jova.
this universe is that basically, Superman came to Earth, he was man of property damage, wrecked things up, but he got better. Then Batman v Superman came about, Superman was better, Batman was terribly portrayed, killing people and all stuff. He ended up learning a lesson, got better, but Superman died. Oh, by the way, Wonder Woman was in that film, and she had some of the best scenes in it. She was barely in it, we got a commercial for the Justice League film, and here we are.
I'm not even kidding, Shiroi. You know how in the MCU they have cameos in after credit scenes that set up the next few movies? What they do in Batman v Superman is they literally stop the story for 10 minutes to show us what are basically teasers for the following movies. I'm not even kidding.
And
Wait,
it wasn't...
during the movie.
Okay,
Pretty
good.
much.
Yes, I'm not even kidding.
Email
To
with
sum-
trailers.
To sum it up like this, Roy, Batman sends Wonder Woman a file
Hold
that
on,
shows stuff.
back
to
to
her.
This is important. This is what we're about to spill in the lore.
The civilization of the Amazons.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Listen here.
Huh?
And here they use a clever use of cel-shaded 2D animation.
It
More like
resembles a painting, yeah.
Yeah, more like a painting, but yeah.
No. There's a bit of cell to it and layering. It's not pure cel shading, but it's a combination of 2D and cel shading.
Hello, Harry's.
Is that the evil god?
Well, it depends on which continuity of Wonder Woman
It's
we're
similar
talking
to
about.
80s history has not been kind to him. But I'll display more detail later, Bibs.
That's all right. The film does a good enough job explaining the.
Mhm.
True.
So the gods
And there
created
you
the
go.
Amazons to influence men's hearts.
Also,
Yeah.
300 inspiration. That
Yeah.
was clearly because
I'm
Zack Schneider.
I'm sure their hearts were the only internal organs that they influenced.
Wait, Joe, come on.
Well, Dio, it's Greek mythology. I mean,
I know. People were running around
Hang on,
naked.
if this is Greek mythology, where's Kratos?
Reserved for Sony dweebs.
Of course.
besides, this is a version where Kratos isn't the good guy.
In fact, I don't think he's a guy. Period.
Yeah. So yeah, Ares pretty much in this continuity dethroned the entire pantheon.
Mm-hmm.
I cast you out. It looks like that bit from 4.
That is because Ares represents the aspect of war, therefore he's compelled by his own nature to stimulate the eternal conflict in mankind, blah, 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 blah.
So it's your fault.
This is all your fault.
So in this version,
Well, it fits. Zeus was kind of a screw-up even in the Regiment mythology.
And so to protect the Amazons, they erected a shield around the
The
around
island of
the
Themyscira, yeah.
okay,
so that
Yeah.
no one can, so it's invisible to the naked eye.
okay, folks.
It's kind of better than the original origin story for the Amazon anyway, so might
Okay,
as well.
folks, I hope you've got that because this is one of those cases where even being a comic book reader is not going to help you. See, Wonder
Yeah.
Woman's a special case, as in she's had her origin story redone, reworked, retold, and remade no less than 11 times. I'm
Oh,
not even
dear.
kidding.
It's still better than what happened to Donna Troy, but yeah, I have to agree.
I'm not kidding. I mean, like, oh, there's one version where her invisible plane isn't even a plane, it's a horse that turns into a plane, Transformers
To be
style.
fair, Joe, but the whole invisible plane thing was always kind of stupid anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Pedro. I'm not talking about the stupidity. I'm just talking about how much her lore changes.
It's like the
And-
Thanos copter for Marvel.
And then there was New 52, which pretty...
Okay. I'm sorry, but those hats always make it look like I should be wiping my shoe on them or something.
Actually,
How does
these
this-
they were kind of also used for that. Anyway,
Yeah.
sure, go ahead.
How does this, for like asking those who know, how does this adaptation fare compared? No, sorry, not adaptation. How does this backstory fare compared to others?
It's one of the best, actually.
I think it's really well done because mostly because they just explain the lore as you just saw, but they focus primarily on the characters, so they don't really get too bogged down in myth.
It's simple and easy to follow.
Okay,
Yeah,
and I will say this.
which makes sense considering this is supposed to be
And there is
introducing.
the,
This is
there's
what's
the
supposed.
spell that legend says that someone will use to kill Ares when the time comes.
Yeah.
Which makes
Yeah.
sense considering this is the movie that's supposed to introduce to a lot of little girls Wonder Woman, so it should be simple and easy to follow.
In regards to
Also,
Wonder Woman as
cheap.
in regards to Wonder Woman as a whole story, the way I often grade the quality of each lone Wonder Woman is 3 main things. 1, Diana herself. 2, her roots and how the Amazons are treated. And 3, how they work with the gods. Those 3 things tend to vary a lot.
Understand.
It's also a special case because Hippolyta was supposed to be the very first Wonder Woman, but after Crisis of Infinite Earth, that was retconned. So just take the fact that she's a Wonder Woman mother, and that's enough.
Yeah, I forgot one thing we forgot to mention. Basically, Shiroi, unlike the other Amazons, Diana was actually created by, she's actually the daughter of Zeus. She was a blessing of sorts, you can say. So she's not actually a proper Amazon like the others. And so the queen of the Amazons here obviously doesn't want her to train and become a warrior because she fears for her safety.
Yeah.
However, being raised as an Amazon, Diana really wants to become a fierce warrior and a proud warrior, just like the rest of her kin. So, but of course, the mother is conflicted on it.
There also are some interesting stories about how several Amazons are too keen with Hippolyta getting to have a child while they pretty much go fruitless.
And there's a couple of actors in this film that have previously been in bad comic book superhero films that get to be in this one for a change.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll mention them as we come to it. We've already mentioned Gal Gadot.
Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't even mention the actress.
Well, actually,
Diana...
it's pronounced Gal Gadot.
Yeah, Gal Gadot. She was cast for Batman v Superman, and to be honest, I wasn't that keen on her performance. Although I'll put most of that down to the fact that she barely had any time to make an impression. Plus, the script was an absolute mess.
Yeah.
Fortunately, in here she has much better much better writing to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I really love is Patty Jenkins' direction. Like, she really she fully embraces the fact that it's a comic book movie to really make stylize the fight scenes to the point where they're really cool to watch. Like, she doesn't try to, I should try my best to ground the action scenes because otherwise it will look. No. She just fully embraces the comic book nature of it,
Which, in a way, makes it come off as more mature than the ones trying to be all gritty. So now Diana is more of age. Although I'm gonna be fair to Zach, Justice League was not his fault. In fact, if anything,
mostly.
In fact, if anything, it turns out Justice League was Joss Whedon taking advantage of a man losing his daughter to get into the position of director after Marvel cast him out. Because Joss Whedon's kind of revealed to be a bit of a slime ball. More on that when we get to Justice League.
and there goes as you can see, Diana is kind of a prodigy of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Which makes Mother even more worried.
For context,
but has a bit of a problem with paying attention.
Yeah.
you
She's
need
trying
to
to
monitor.
that will not be incorporated.
As
And there you go, Shiroi. Those are her divine powers.
Bracelets.
Yeah.
In most cases, she got them from Hephaestus. But in this
Mhm.
case, they're a mystical chosen one.
She does that by doing the Degeneration X sign.
Basically, the point of that thing there was that you shouldn't just expect the enemy to be merciful, and you have to be prepared to defend yourself and stuff, which is why she was attacking her herself.
Also, for context, the Amazons have been created specifically for the purpose of containing mankind, are a race that don't need to reproduce, and thus they don't age almost at all, or in case very slowly.
See,
It reminds me of that scene from Batman Begins, where Neeson goes on about,
mind your surroundings.
death is not considered over.
Yeah.
Well, it is true. I mean, if you're trying to train yourself to, fight, for real, you have to be prepared for that
Or
kind
anything,
of stuff.
yeah.
Oh, I think I've got a bit of. I think I've got something about the film's troubled release in a certain country. Let me try and find that out.
Sure.
While there's not much going on.
So in the meantime,
It's been banned. It got banned from Tunisia because most of the cast were female, and it got banned in Lebanon due to the fact that Gal Gadot is Israeli.
Oh, nice.
Well, shit, CGI plane.
look at that. It's the greatest pilot in the entire universe.
Star-Lord.
No. You'll see.
You'll
see.
Even better, Teo. Commander Kirk.
Of course.
Captain Kirk.
Well, yeah, true. Captain
So,
Kirk is a
Tio,
commander,
you
yeah.
remember how Anne Hathaway ended up being in the third Batman film? Well, her love interest from Princess Diaries 2, which screwed up the MCU continuity, is here. As Steve
What
Trevor.
a interesting twist.
Yeah, Chris Pine is in the film.
Hey,
Yes.
Captain.
Basically, Shiroi, this is one of the most charismatic actors of the recent years. He's in the new Star Trek films. Basically, that's what he's most famous for.
Okay.
Captain Kirk in a movie where he's like.
Keep in mind, Shiroi, Diana has never seen a man before, so obviously she
Oh,
doesn't even.
yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know what a man is, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
I think she's heard about them, but she's never saw one in person.
Oh,
Well, she knew the backstory,
Depends
Hippolyta
on
told her.
depends on the version of the backstory.
Now, this is one thing that pretty much almost every later iteration does that makes fun of in the Golden Age. The Amazons are a bit elitist, gender-wise. Let's just say
What is this? You brought a man into
Man?
Basically,
And
here's
this is
the...
what it's like on the
Must
outside.
you bring a boy?
Yeah, basically the deal is that as far as the Amazons
Only
are
girls allowed here.
well,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
As far as the Amazons are concerned, man is complete corrupt evil, will always subjugate women, and are pretty much the reason of everything bad happening. Which kinda becomes all the more hypocritic when we get to stuff like Amazon's attack, but that's a comic for another later. The point is like, well, it's always a deconstruction on, well, feminazism, pretty much. In that, well, yes, the Amazons do mean well, but they lose sight of their own goals. Like, okay, let me remind you, the Amazons are supposed to help man, and yet their big decision is, oh, let's hide away from man. That'll clearly solve the issue.
Yeah,
So
and
the
look
Shadow
what
the Hedgehog mindset.
yeah, and look what's going on. And look what's going on outside. Freaking World War II.
Yep.
Oops.
Captain's
Hello.
log. Stardate Thursday.
This is not how
I
I-
do believe that I have seen the most gorgeous woman upon a beach.
This is not Disney, Shiro.
It's like the 50th time I've had that this month.
There are no strings on me.
That was a great reference.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Pity about the villain himself, but whatever.
Oh, I actually liked Ultron, though.
Oh,
Okay, he was a bit
me and
short.
Shiro
More-
agree.
more to-
When me and Shiro saw that, we agree on one thing. We love how awkward he is in talking to people. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
he's just
Yeah,
kind of-
that I agree with.
Well, that's the kind of
Really
character.
do with this villain thing.
James Spader kind of plays that character quite a lot, doesn't he?
So, yeah.
Anyway,
Steve Trevor just came back from bombing and sinking
yeah, his
a
name
battleship.
is his name. Basically, Shiro, this is a war soldier named Steve Trevor. He's always the first in every single country. He's always the first man that Wonder Woman sees and eventually falls in love with. All that good stuff.
Oops.
The 2009 movie also did this pretty much.
Oh, yeah, the
The
2009 movie is awesome. I gotta show you that sometime, Shiroi.
I do prefer this one though. I think this one.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the longer run time, it
Yeah.
has more time to flesh out the story and the characters.
Without a doubt. But 2009 animated Wonder Woman movie was back when Warner Brothers were getting their stride with doing those long animated movies. Because, believe it or not, folks, outside of live-action Marvel movies, DC is kind of schooling Marvel in video games, animated movies, and whatnot. But that's besides the point. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, and now we're
Oh.
gonna. And as we find out, Amazons are not impervious to bullets.
Dang.
No.
That
Their
was...
primary weapons are bows and arrows, so obviously fire weapons are not exactly.
Unlike whoever made Amazon's attack would say.
Although the Amazon, is this the one where the Amazons think that man's invading or something?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
that's what they often
Yeah,
think.
Actually, also, technically, the Amazons can use the bracelets to defend. They actually reflect bullet for all
Yeah,
of the Amazons,
yeah,
not
because-
just Wonder Woman.
Because when I think of a man invasion, I think of a guy who's clearly who's clearly in a state of peril and nearly drowned.
Also, in case you were wondering, yeah, Zack Snyder was responsible for 300, and this movie will remind you
Well,
that.
keep in
I
mind,
guess.
Dibs, the gods specifically instructed the Amazons to protect this place from outside, from the outside. So that's what they're doing.
Well,
The man fired first.
well, actually, Pedro, the gods made the Amazons to try and help man on its course. The Amazons were the ones
True.
who decided to cloak themselves
Well,
in
but the
humanity.
banner is there for a reason, Jova.
The Amazons made that barrier, actually.
Barrier.
Especially since the gods weren't
Theo.
able to make that barrier for a certain
Theo.
reason.
I know. I go in the
Bad
corner.
Theo.
I love Patty Jenkins' use of slowdown. Like a lot of times slowdown comes across as a sheep like Michael Bay uses it, but she knows how to use it well.
What are these metal things that can kill?
I don't know. I'm just as close as you are.
Well, but whatever, kill them.
We
With
tag
pleasure.
special.
And now triple bow attack, which
Baby, a
which
triple.
which I never understand how it works.
It just
Uh-oh.
doesn't. Okay, how many bullets people have to take for Wonder Woman?
How many do you have?
They've unlocked the infinite.
Well,
knowledge.
sure, it is World War II, you know, back when modern warfare
Yeah.
was really hitting its stride.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, her mentor is, well, let's just
Yeah.
say she's learning the hardest
My mother
rule.
figure is dead, even though my mother
Well,
is actually alive.
Well, actually, no. And this is just a mentor thing, not a mother figure thing, because her actual mother has always been a good mother.
I'm pretty sure that she's her aunt, though, since the Queen
Yeah,
mentions her
'cause
as her sister.
They're sisters, so
Mm-hmm.
it's still a bit more than a mental thing because they are family.
So which is worse, losing your parents or losing your aunt or uncle? Well, then again, Spider-Man lost all
Both are
three.
shit.
Yeah, but
I have to admit the first time I saw this movie, I was like, oh my god, please tell me Wonder Woman's not going to start here. Fortunately, no, she actually is reasonable.
Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why I do like this take on Wonder Woman. Oh, again, sure, allow me to educate you on one of the varying degrees involving Wonder Woman. Either she's a man-hating lesbian. No, there was actually a time when she was a lesbian who hated men.
Usually that's basically.
I mean, no, there was actually continuity where she was a lesbian and hated men and talked about dominating women. It was really stupid, and that's why that lore died quickly. Then there's the ones where she is pretty much clueless about men, and then there's the one where she actually asks questions.
Oh, goody the lasso.
Let her
Well, the
listen.
latter is the best one.
Oh, I love a
Let
line.
Let you listen because they explain.
All right.
Listen.
Well, hey, that is a realistic reaction.
yeah, it looks hot. Don't resist.
If you try to resist,
Wrong.
it hurts.
Yeah.
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 Oh, crud.
In Turkey. Oh, the Ottoman, right.
So yeah, Joe, apparently you can lend your soldiers to our army.
Well, oh, yeah, we did that a lot during the World Wars.
Yeah, in World War One, America was more like what's the name? An extra card where the European nations were using occasionally, or like supporting anything. Oh. Oh, let me guess. She's one of the experiments, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
In case you brief history lesson, World War One was essentially a gigantic playground for scientists because they could test a lot of different tools in how to arm a person.
And then World War II was that ramped up to 11.
Oh, and the evil general was played by Danny Houston, aka he was Stryker in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Wow.
Wait, is that the Orin?
It's quite a step up, innit, guys?
Seriously, all
Yeah.
the missing is Ryan Reynolds before he hit his stride with Deadpool.
So yeah, but Steve Trevor ain't having none of that shit.
Whoop.
So
I'll
he
take the
stole-
book with
so,
me.
so he stole her book.
Hey,
Yeah.
did anyone see a mainly strange... ik bang!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta go faster.
Excuse me.
He even uses the slide.
Sorry, can I borrow this? Can I borrow this plane? Thank you.
How many stars is it worth it with? 2, 3?
Sega saw him and thought, how can we make him furrier?
Well, seeing as they're stealing something that belongs to the government, I'd say about 3.
Okay.
You know, actually, that makes me wonder, a Grand Theft Auto game done during World War II?
No, they're all doing the 70s onward, I think.
No, I'm wondering, a possible idea.
Because drugs and alcohol.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, explosives were really a big thing also in World War II. Trust me, the only reason we stopped with this stuff was because of the nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
You know this probably sounds like a load of gobbledygook to everyone else in the room.
Well, yes and no, Shiroi. You'll see what I mean by that.
But that was World War One. This is World War Two.
See, like I said before, World War I was just the war where... Okay, the reason people don't talk about World War I as much as World War II, World War I was based on idiocy. Like, idiocy, to the point where Hutzendorf is practically a meme for stupidity. World War II is remembered better because there was more honor in the sense of it, and people had a more cynical view. I'm not going to say there wasn't stupidity behind war. Like, practically every war is stupid. World War II, that was one of the few cases where there was a definite
Guys, not for nothing, but this movie is actually set during World War One and not two.
No!
Yeah, this one...
Theo, this is set during World War II, actually.
Nope.
Actually, no. Alan Einberg even had an interview specifically how this was his idea to change it to World War One, because he thought that World War II is overused.
The heck? That's
Oh, there's your answer, Jova.
Wait, that's usually when Wonder Woman takes place, World War II.
Yeah, but he changed it. They changed the backstory for this because Alan said that it was overused, the World War II scenario, basically.
Let me check.
Personally, I don't really care.
Weird. I was always...
Wonder Woman believes that Ares is causing all this crap.
Whatever. It's a world war. That's what matters.
Well, the two are quite different, especially when you consider who was on each side.
True, but in terms of setting, it works just
It
as
makes
well.
sense also for the whole gadget thing.
Huh. Well, dang.
Also, you had to do... Yeah, it would have been more obvious because the German soldiers were not using swastikas.
Anyway, the basic gist of it is that...
So it turns out the Amazons actually did know what was going on. It was just Diana who was being sheltered, because she is literally the only newborn.
Yeah. Basically, she wants to go, because, because the whole point of the Amazons is to help out humanity, but the Amazons don't want to, and Diana's, what do you mean? It's our job to do so.
Actually, now that you mention it, yeah, I've recently been watching this historical series on YouTube called The Great War, and yeah, Ludendorff is actually a name that pops up a lot. Like, that's the actual Erich Friedrich William von Ludendorff.
Now we got some fan service for the ladies.
And some Smurf sweat, I guess.
Oh, this bit. Listen to this. Well, yep, that's Captain Kirk, all right.
Yeah.
This.
Oh, goody.
Actually, Tail, hold on. She means the watch.
Of course. Please don't devolve into the speech that Christopher Walken does in Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, funny interview Chris Pine gave. Yeah, he was like, Patty Jenkins told him to get his body into shape, and he did. Yeah, he told him to get his body into shape, and he did. Well, look at the results.
Yeah.
However, it did seem to him a bit pointless, seeing as though he's seeing as though he's in a lot of. His costume was quite heavy anyway, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When I first saw this film in the cinema, I thought it was just gonna go in like a little language spiel, saying stuff in different languages each time. Who else saw this in the cinema?
I did.
I did.
I didn't.
I did.
It was great.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Wow. So, what?
This is awkward.
So, okay. So that was a watch. Now, what was that other dangly thing next to your right arm?
Anyway,
Yeah.
Wait, next to the arm, that would be the leg.
Besides, see, if they started about men, I'm pretty sure since we're reaching culture, they probably started about basic biology.
Remember, Tio, Diana's literally the only one left in the dark about this.
That's sad.
How do humans reproduce?
She'll have to learn that eventually if her relationship with Batman is anything to go by. Oh yeah, that's right. Batman and Wonder Woman are a thing in this universe. A notion I support, since it was done well in the animated series.
Well, at least it's not fucking
Yeah, I was
Wonder
gonna say
Woman,
that's
Superman
not
for
the
the
first
millionth
time they've been
time.
portrayed as a potential couple. So
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I recommend you also check out Justice League the animated series and, the series leading up to that. Those are actually pretty good.
so yeah, Chris Pine Steve got fed up of just sitting around doing nothing while the war was going on, so he decided I'm going to join the American Army.
Basically,
And then,
yeah.
granted, he got loaned to the British Army, but still.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very get it done patriotic type of
This
guy.
was at the time when getting loaned to the British Army was sideline stuff for American soldiers.
Anyway, Diana really wants to go with him to protect the world, so she's gonna try and take the sacred sword.
And she did a leap to prove that she's great at Olympics.
And it did.
Well, Dwebs, Wonder Woman is just as physically strong as Superman, so...
Don't you see? Because
Which is something that Justice League, the movie after this, fucking forgot, but that's a topic for another day.
I have yet to see that movie. But hey, guys, But guys,
Yeah, Jeff,
Diana's ready because I know how far I'll go. I mean, seriously, this is a lot like that.
I like that
Oh,
song
shit.
too, but there's a time and a place.
No, Dwibs, there's literally the connection, though. Like, even how it should have ended made fun of it. Like, when you get down to it, this is a
Don't
lot
do that,
like...
Joe, but Disney will sue us.
Jesus.
And she's
That's
for a
a...
second there, for a
they'll
second there,
either sue us or buy us. I
Oh,
don't
for a
God.
second there, I thought this was going to turn into Spider.
Whatever's cheaper.
Well, it's a good thing that the Amazons have super strength, so...
Well, some
Well,
more than
she
others.
is the son of Sorry, she is the daughter of Zeus. So.
Mhm.
Except for in the Justice League animated series, where it turns out that she was molded by both Hera and Hades. Yeah, though. That's actually an interesting continuity as well, I'll admit. And if it sounds like it's complicated, don't worry, Shiroi, more often than not, the way Wonder Woman's lore is handled good. It's just the bad ones really stand
Also,
out.
from what I can see on like Marvel here, the Pantheon is treated like the genuine article. But when it comes to Marvel with the whole 4 movies, they kind of find a rational explanation in a sense that they think that Thor and company were more like aliens with superior technology or with proper abilities.
I was just reading the cast list, and apparently one of the colonels is played by Stefan Rodri.
Who?
Oh, Steph Rodder, the voice of Drippy.
Drippy.
Oh,
Drippy's
wow.
here.
That guy was also in Harry Potter, I believe.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah, he was.
outfits.
Remember, we established this part 2. Or was
Yeah,
it part one?
the others part.
He was
One
one
of
of the Death Eaters, I think.
Yeah.
No, it was one of the bank people that Ron and Harry.
In the Ministry.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
one of the Death
that's it,
Eaters.
Ministry,
Oh, no, I remember.
that's
He
it.
was the Death Eater who I think was running the Ministry at the time. Yaxley.
So yeah, Diana wants to go with Steve, so she can destroy. Basically, the basic gist of it is
Her
that
idea is that
Diana,
if she kills Ares, that'll end all war.
basically, Ares is the god of war, so obviously she thinks all we have to do is kill Ares, and the war will stop magically.
Diana,
only.
what have I told you? No going out late tonight, and least of all, no going out with man.
Mother, you barely let me out at all.
Well, there's a good reason for that.
Why? Because you don't like men.
Let's not hear because this is a good scene.
Bye.
True that.
My
Someone's
planet
gotta get
is
shit
me.
done around here.
But if you leave, you will never come back. Yeah, I thought they were going to do that cliche. Also, I
Wait,
believe
listen.
this is...
Yeah, that's always a weird thing. She can never return for some reason.
No, they said you may
You
never.
may never return.
This is Diana's destiny, of course, but obviously the mom really wanted to protect her from harm,
Her
but
mother.
she can no longer deny her destiny. And there you go. There's the iconic tiara.
The weird
The thing
thing
is, Jova, her mother's not ostracizing her. She's saying, if you do this, you may die.
Zeroy,
Basically, yeah.
I'm also going off of other lore where pretty much the rule is she can't come back, like she's banished.
Yeah, but in this one,
But
in this,
if her lore
in
always
this-
changes all the time, then we should only be going off what we're seeing here.
I guess the
yeah,
deal
but
is like
in this particular one, no, they don't do that.
I guess the deal is like, the way they word it and the fact that she never comes back to Themyscira by the end of the film. I mean, that's not really spoiling anything, but she never really returns to Themyscira by the end of the film. That led me
Yeah,
to
but
believe
her mother
it was
still
that
said
rule.
you may never, not you can't.
Yeah.
Hey, Jova,
Yes, Dwibs?
I believe this is the first time in the DCEU where, and I don't think even the MCU has done this yet, where
Yeah.
they got a regular DC Comics writer to write the script.
Yeah, it's like
And I remember one comment.
Actually,
I remember one comment Sheroy made. That she said, "Why just get the comic book writers to write the films?"
Actually,
Yeah.
Dwibs,
There
Joss
you go.
Whedon, Joss Whedon has written comics before.
Not really the traditional kind, though. Now, you want another case of a good one, though? David Goyer has done in more good than bad work. He's just not that good a director. Writing-wise, he can do pretty good if Blade and, the earlier
Blade
films...
2.
Yeah, Blade 2. It's whenever he's directing is not the best, because he actually wrote some of the better dialogue in the DCU films. It's like, look, if we got more movies like Wonder Woman that were not afraid with being comic book movies, we'd be in a lot better, because that is literally the DCU's biggest weakness. Like, literally, right there. Let's think about it. Man of Steel. Yeah, it was trying to be New 52 Superman.
Listen
Oh,
here,
go on.
because I like this.
What is
What am I
that,
gonna
the Sword of
do then?
Gryffindor?
Because Warner Brothers.
How many Harry Potter jokes will I be able to make?
Please stop
Well,
pointing that.
Well,
All
Joe,
right, as you can see, Shiroy. Sorry.
considering one of the actors in this film, Joe.
Oh, just wait for that, Dwibs. You're the man, Diana. Have I mentioned that I actually do like these two characters' chemistry?
Yeah, as you can see, Shiroy, Steve is the audience's proxy. He's the common man, so obviously he's the one who's basically gets a lot of lore explained to him. Whereas Wonder Woman, of course, being the fish out of water character, Steve is going to have to explain to her how civilization works. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. We
Wait,
sleep.
this line.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds rather lonely and sad for you.
I've been a Starfleet captain for the past 6 years. I don't have a lot of time to sleep.
Wow, the great James T. Kirk doesn't sleep with women that much.
Really? The 2009 film.
Well, to be fair,
Joe,
Joe, she is not green, so.
When they get
She's
back to
not-
civilization, she's just going to start playing 20 questions, isn't she?
not a
Oh,
space alien.
just listen, Joy. Love. Let's talk love.
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
That one, not really.
You can't sleep with me unless I marry you. Ooh. To be honest, this is
Fine,
like,
I'll sleep with you. Jesus.
yeah, like
it's But it's. Wow, I can't believe you actually had to debate whether or not to
Not-
sleep with
not-
Wonder Woman.
Not just that, I love how we're literally watching a movie scene where the woman is literally going, "Why don't you just sleep with me? What's the problem?"
And the fact that the actor has played James T. Kirk just helps it.
Yeah.
I'm not. You sound like what Mother says is compensating for something. Does it have to do with that 5-inch sword of yours?
Well, the thing. Well, it can grow, you know, but I'm not going to get into that.
Hope it doesn't get extra thick.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Anyway.
God, Christ.
Yeah, let's move on.
Hey, it's still better than the jokes the Wonder Woman pilot thing did.
Like that sword.
I
That
tried to
poor
forget
security
that.
guard.
Yes, rest in peace, security guard.
He was doing his job.
Oh, no, let's see here.
Of course.
And
There you go. She knows Pedro. Sorry, Jova.
There you go, listen.
oh, thanks, Cleo.
The
Who's-
DCEU does sex
I
it.
know. It's like, I read 50 Shades of Grey.
Well, thank goodness she
Funny,
didn't.
funny considering that sometimes the DC comics actually published a thing called the Super Dictionary.
Thank goodness she didn't read the text from Aphrodite. That would be just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Basically, Dibs, you know the whole 40 cakes meme from Lex Luthor, it comes from there.
Yeah.
That's actually canon.
Yeah. Anyway.
Meanwhile, back with the Germans.
So, yeah, surprisingly they're using a real-life figure here, Ludendorff. Interesting. So good. I can actually bring out some of my World War One know-how. Yeah, a lot of the general leaders of World War One were, kind of like that.
Dicks.
Yeah,
As in-
we
okay.
also commentated on Paths of Glory, so we kind of know about that.
Yeah, and if they
Yeah.
weren't dicks, they were just outright stupid. Like, some actually had the mentality of still running onto the field with bright colors, although admittedly that was more so France, who paid dearly for that.
Those wanting some fun and well-made education on that, watch Paths of Glory. Great.
Yeah.
And if you can't get that, then watch this YouTube
Louise,
series called The Great War. They're actually a
Yes.
great historical channel. They started in 2014, literally 100 years from the start of World War One, and they're pretty much doing it as so that they'll end this year because World War One ended in 1918.
Yeah.
Yes, Tim.
Who's playing Dr. Poison here?
Elena and Naya.
I know. I feel like I've heard that name before.
I'll check. She's been in mostly.
Poison?
She's been in mostly Spanish language films. Well, she's from Spain. But recently she's been in a few English language ones, like this one, and not many others that I know of.
What the fuck?
Oh, goody. That's
I know
something that
I know
was...
thinking about X-Men Origins is painful, but come on, mate, man up.
Fun fact, actually, the woman who played Diana's aunt and mentor, that's Robin Wright.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah, I mentioned she's off House of Cards.
She was also
So,
in... Never
stereo
mind.
intern.
The US one.
Uh-oh. Scarecrow eat your heart out. Anyway, she was...
I want Shira to listen to this because this is a great joke for her. Just listen to here, Shira.
All right.
Let's see what Diana thinks of London.
Is this
Not
the...
enough accordions.
So is this the part where Sweeney Todd talks about how London
Oh,
is,
Yeah. Listen.
Well,
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
it doesn't help that they're on the
Yeah,
River Thames, which is officially... The River
I
Thames...
go to London for Comic-Con and nothing else.
The River Thames is
I've
officially...
been there for a few visits also, Jova. It's Thames.
The River Thames is
Thames.
literally... Oh, hey, was that Houdini? I forget if he was a thing in London or...
Don't remember.
I don't know.
Anyway, though, yeah, the River Thames is officially one of the dirtiest rivers in current history still. Like, seriously, England, what the hell?
That's another interesting mode of trans. Oh,
But yeah.
Why are they holding hands?
It's
Well,
lewd.
I'll teach you when you grew up.
Anyway, you think that her critiques on London are bad? Wait till you hear what Sweeney Todd has to say, or rather sing about London.
Yeah.
that's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What movie?
Sweeney Todd.
Tim Burton's Sweeney Todd.
Oh, the musical. No, thank you.
Remember, Dwibs doesn't like musicals.
Well, Dwibs, I hope you like Pirates
I
of...
love musicals.
I hope you like Pirates of Penzance, Dwibs.
Basically, Diana's asking him,
Yeah,
tell me
about
where
that.
Ares is. Lead me to the war so I can kill Ares. But of course, Steve is not really, buying this whole Ares bull crap, so...
Not only that, but she's kind of wearing an outfit that, well, okay, it's scandalous in current times. This is World War I back when so much as showing a woman's heel was considered indecent.
Yeah.
So, and she's kind of wearing, well, a unitard. An armored unitard.
Selfridges, that's a pub chain now, isn't it?
No, Selfridges is a very,
There
very
you go. This is
expensive.
Steve's assistant. This is Steve's assistant.
Oh yeah, played by Lucy Davis. Whilst she's had a long TV career, her films up to this point, the best films she had up until this one was Shaun of the Dead. Other times she's been in such classics as Sex Lives of the Potato Men, Garfield: A Tale of Two Kitties, and the Postman Pat movie.
Oh, poor woman.
In the meantime, Robin Wright, the woman who got killed off earlier, has been...
I love that one. You missed a great joke. Basically, so what do you do? Oh, I do all the things he asks of me because he's his secretary, right? I do all the things he asks of me every time you. Oh, where I come from, that's called slavery.
Yeah, if you saw the trailer, you likely caught that joke. But hey, we've actually got a clothing montage that doesn't make me cringe.
Yeah, obviously, Shiroi, Diana's doesn't look super conspicuous, so obviously we're gonna have to dress her with something a bit more common.
I mean, the way she's dressed, it's kind of, well,
Yeah, we know.
No, not there.
No,
Yeah.
don't.
A little
trip
a little fan service for the ladies.
And
She needs to learn how to use high heels.
That is an interesting dress.
no, you don't do that.
That's the thing, woman. That's the thing, Diana. I have no idea.
I know how. Princess Peach. Just ask Princess Peach. She does it all the time.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she's a cartoony character, so she of course can bend the laws of physics.
Oops.
Oh, hey! It's Elizabeth from Bioshock.
How do you turn your neck in that thing?
I don't know.
I have no
yeah,
idea.
with the ripping of the skirt, also the whole thing that women should only wear dresses.
Also, while Jovi didn't tell me
There you go.
into cosplaying LA
Oh, we're
Noir.
going for the Mary
I
Poppins.
know, right? He looks like Cole Phillips.
Cole Phelps, yeah. Cole Phelps, Starship Enterprise.
Diana Prince, practically perfect. In every
Oh, wait, this line. They literally just made fun of a Superman joke and the whole "you put glasses on a woman, she's not pretty"
For
joke.
these guys.
Brilliant.
Oh, I don't know.
Also, dressed like that, he looks like
Diana-
another character, but I can't think who it
Diana,
is.
maybe you should hide your sword and shield.
Please.
Guess Doctor Who's not a thing yet, so people aren't used to this.
Doctor Who wasn't a thing till the 60s.
Yeah. Most unorthodox.
Oh.
Most unorthodox. Who most unorthodox? Who? I dare say.
I know
Who
that.
I am.
There's the first major enemy of Diana Prince, revolving doors.
Yes.
Revolving doors are the enemy to everyone.
Look, Diana, a secretary can take care of everything, even if it's your weaponry.
Yeah.
Which
We need to
is...
conceal it.
Just let her
It'll be
Please.
fine.
You have to keep it with your life, honey.
It's gonna be heavy.
Oh, that's it. He looks like Inspector Gadget.
Go, get it, Enterprise.
I couldn't think who he looked like. Yeah, he does.
That too.
Oh, that usual British disappointed look. Like, dang. Didn't know London was that judging back then.
We still are.
True.
So yeah, Shiroi, as you probably realized by this
Oh,
point,
of course.
as you probably realized at this point, Shiroi, Steve is not exactly buying this whole
Yeah.
superpowered
He's the
women
typical
thing.
straight man
Yeah.
person.
However, he's about to he's about to get literally shoved in the
But
face
he-
with those
But hang on,
superpowers.
But he just saw a bunch of them do all that stuff earlier.
Well, but it was mostly just throwing, but we didn't see any actual, stopping bullets and shit like that. Anyway.
Hey, look, just like in the old Christopher Reeve Superman, we have a scene down an alley where, yep.
Oops.
Yeah. Patty Jenkins is a huge fan of that movie. As she herself said it.
Why couldn't she have done the live-action Superman film?
I know.
Well, she's doing the sequel to this one, so
Yes,
I know.
and I have faith.
Well, me too.
Oh,
There you go.
damn.
that comes in handy.
Durr.
Something wrong with my gun. Shoot anywhere other than where you're shooting, guys.
They actually do, and she's moving her wrist accordingly.
Yeah. It was at this point he knew he was screwed.
Poor bastard.
We gotta let Chris Pine do something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Kicks your
another.
ass like a lady.
Yeah, that's another good thing this one handles is the balance between how much Diana and Steve Trevor get to do. Now, obviously, Diana's always going to be the star, and how much Steve gets to do
Hold on.
depends.
Interrogation with the lasso.
Unfortunately, he took a
I don't know
cyanide
either.
pill.
There you go. He bit his own cyanide pill.
Of course.
Oh goody! Oh goody! Parliament. So, Dwibs.
Yeah.
On a level of 10 to say 11,
There you go,
how
this is it.
ineffective are they at this point in time?
10.6.
I mean, seriously,
Oh,
even
look
Remus
at
Lupin
that,
can't
Shiroi,
help
it's
us.
Lupin. It's Professor Lupin who came in
Oh.
to make a cameo.
Yeah, David Thewlis is in the movie.
Boy, Lupin, you sure aged well later on.
Also, Warner Brothers must have him on like speed dial or something.
There you go. This is that government scene that I talked to you about.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Wasn't Timeline also a Warner Brothers film?
I think that was Paramount.
Dear, remind
That guy,
me.
that guy
I
looks like Ben
forgot. I'm gonna
Kingsley.
check.
This can't Ben Kingsley.
Also, we're in that era of history where everyone has interesting facial hair.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And then World War II, one jackass is gonna make a certain mustache style be taboo.
Yeah, Dibs are right. Timeline is Paramount.
Ah. Like, it really is
Seriously,
just
what's-
like
what's-
it is.
Oh, I love this one here. She's about to get her iconic name, believe it or not. Just listen.
Hmm? Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry.
Otherwise, I've had to have cast Immobilis on all of them.
There you go. She was about to say Diana of Themyscira, but Steve Little Prince, Diana Prince, and there you go, Taylor. And that's how she got her real world name in this continuity.
Okay.
Oh, when you said her name, I was expecting the whole Wonder Woman thing.
See, the thing is, Shira, see, the thing is, Shira, she's just Diana. That's it, Diana. However, when she moved to the outside world, she had to get a proper name, and it was Diana Prince.
Meanwhile, in experiment number...
They're making a gas that will be able to apparently...
to bypass the gas masks.
Yeah.
Oh, looks
my.
like they found one.
Oh dear, that one didn't work, did it?
Actually,
No,
Actually,
it
it
may.
did.
Backstory time.
The two-language trick. Oh. A woman knows languages?
You know,
How dare you address us, female?
you know, it's even more funny the fact that, yeah, people could be this inept during World War One. Like, you know, again, actually seeing the history series The Great War on YouTube, it feels almost like a cartoon with how stupid people were during this war.
Yeah.
That's the sad tragedy of it.
So yeah, she knows how to.
True.
So yeah, she knows how to read this. So hold on.
Uh-oh, hydrogen-based.
Oh, goody, we can get the assistant of Tintin. Oh, wait. Believe it or not, though, Tintin actually makes a cameo in one of the Marvel comics.
Why not get Poirot in on this?
It's an Easter egg more than anything.
Okay.
So, from what I can understand...
Unfortunately, Theo Spielberg is holding Tintin hostage in Hollywood.
Is he really?
Oh,
I'll tell you about it later, Jova.
Yeah.
Isn't Tintin a while? You know what, yeah, later. So, yeah, the Germans have a base in Belgium. Here's the problem. At this time, they're kind of negotiating their surrender. Yeah, this is near the end of World War One, apparently. However, if Britain goes in all heavy in Belgium, that's obviously going to put a kink into things. One of the few smart things going on at the time. Here.
And now Wonder Woman gets baffled why Steve won't stand up to his superiors.
Bit of irony coming up there, Diana. Did I mention that you should be ashamed?
Ashamed?
Listen here. I love this one. Yeah, I love his response.
Don't make me use my truth lasso on you again.
Well, he's doing it himself.
But why would anyone do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at that! It's raining in London.
Yeah.
Of course.
What better reinforcements to get than?
I'm honestly surprised why they've occasionally just said heavy rain in London. It would be more appropriate.
Especially since
because
all
it's not France, so.
British pub.
You know what's even more fitting is that the actors in that game are mainly English, like, you know, from Britain.
You know, here's the funny thing about the
That's how it goes, Jerry.
Here's the funny thing about this. We're in a British pub during World War One. Pubs don't look that different now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tradition, I guess.
And here's now here's the thing that this movie actually takes a bit of. Okay, I don't know if this is intentional, but this movie also takes a bit from Ant-Man movie in that we have a bit of a heist team introduced, which helps the movie. In fact, this guy reminds me a lot of the one short guy whose name I sadly can't remember.
We got Samir, played by Saeed Hagmawi.
That is one messed up dog.
Oh, there's actually
Oh,
And there you go. She can also talk his language.
oops.
Your eyes as soft as your smile.
And your eyes look like they want something.
I know Chinese too, tricky girl.
But can you recite Socrates in ancient Greek? Why don't you just whip them out and measure them? I know.
That's the look of a defeated man.
Yeah.
oh, and I believe.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
Here
yeah,
is
yeah,
our
no.
next member.
Right.
Oh look, there's someone I recognise, the one getting beaten up.
And then and the title card shows up. Chapter 1, another round.
Yeah. Hey,
Who is
Shiro.
he?
Hey, Shiro. You know who I think of getting for my little private army?
What?
The guy off Train Spotting.
What's Train Spotting?
This actor is
A
familiar.
horrifying movie.
Train Spotting? How is
Dwebs,
that?
who is this guy? Because he looks familiar.
He's Ewan Bremner. He plays Charlie. Basically, Ewan Bremner is a Scottish actor who most Brits around here we recognise off Train Spotting and its sequel.
Is Train Spotting like a
okay.
horror film?
Jova, what do you think Train Spotting is, Jova?
You know, spotting trains that pass by, right?
I'm not even. You know what?
Jesus, no.
Let's just move on because I don't even want to start. With
Fine,
that. So let's
fine. I'll look it up.
We need to show him that movie now.
But he was also in other. But he was also in films such as Pearl Harbor and Around the World in 80 Days and Alien vs Predator.
Let's see.
And,
The poor man.
2017 was one of his better years when it comes to picking movies.
Let's see. Train Spotting. Oh, it's a British black comedy film.
Well, I would right now. It's a picture
Alright,
of your
never
lovely
mind, he's
face.
looking it up.
Okay.
Never mind, though. I mean,
Jova,
yeah.
you were supposed to read the subtitles for sure.
Oh,
Sorry.
right.
Basically, he was saying, I want a picture of your lovely face. And he's like, you don't need one. I'm going with you.
Yeah. Irony.
Ow.
Oh, this line here. That's coming after this.
We call it scare rouse.
That's an honest one.
Yeah. You see, this is one problem I've always had with X-Men films. You're telling me that no single person is aroused by Mystique? Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Lupin.
Guess if you're getting your ass kicked, overpowers all.
I'm here to train you against the Dark Arts to help you on your journey. But we don't have time for that, so I'm just going to give you the rights to go there.
We have to do this before the full moon comes. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our crew, consisting of a comic book superheroine, the captain of the Starship Enterprise, the crazy guy off Train Spotting, and
So is Train Spotting a bad film?
oh no, it's a good film. Although actually, I don't think his character was the crazy one. My apologies.
Weird. The way you and Shuri seem to...
He is more of the one who people love to take advantage of.
Let's just say, Jova, the surprise factor will be better if we don't tell you.
All right. I just looked it up, but I have not looked at the synopsis, so I'll just wait and see it fresh. It has a sequel, too, apparently.
Yeah, it came out early last year.
Wait, last year? But it was made in
Yeah.
1996. You're telling me a sequel to a 1996 film came out in 2017?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Oh, good. There's always a big rule of thumb whenever it comes to sequels that are like long gap.
Well, by the way,
Oh.
I would like to mention something. Notice how ever since we've got to London, the color scheme got more Snyderish. This is actually a clever use of the lighting scheme in the sense that Diana was in basically paradise, and now she's in the much more harsher real world. See, Zach, this is how you use fucking color schemes.
That said, though, guys, unfortunately now she's been swayed by ice cream.
Oh.
Anyway,
Instead of just making everything fucking gray.
Now, to be fair, Batman v Superman does add more color, but again, look, it fixes problems from Man of Steel. It adds new problems. That is the main problem with Batman v Superman, which is a shame.
Where are they now? Are they now Dover?
we're going to war, Dwibs.
Yeah, that's a sad thing about World War I. Even though around this time a surrender was being made, people weren't given the order to stop fighting. Kind of sucks like that.
Yep.
But yeah, Diana doesn't really like what she sees.
Yeah, war is hell.
Well, again, it works really well for her as a character in terms of character development because up until this point, she's never really been aware of how horrible the world can be. So this is
she's always had a one-dimensional view of the Earth.
Yeah.
This is one of the benefits of doing Wonder Woman from the olden days. I mean, don't get me wrong, Wonder Woman coming to see the world in modern times, that can work too. But it always helps that she's always let out here, and it's done in a way that's more modernized, because again, Golden Age was...
We don't need to introduce her to the internet, she's seen enough.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I actually really like this scene. Well, near the end of it anyway.
Well, they're honest about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ironic thing is that out of countries...
That guy also looks like a bit like him. What's up with the Ben Kingsley clones in this movie?
Ironic thing is, like, well, despite them being, you know, the central powers of the war, Germany was one of the few countries who actually did pay mind to the fact that, yeah, men were dying. Shame they kind of lost that quality in World War II, but that's an obvious story you probably have heard about.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Enjoy Frauen's gift.
Did someone just farted?
Quick, get the masks.
Enjoy.
Oh yeah, and he's just taunting them.
Yeah.
You get one mask and you're already being lucky.
And the twist
then...
is it's not gonna be useful anyway.
He's playing a prank on them. Quick, get the mask. No, it's not. My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
It's just a prank, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Chief. I mean, I don't know if it's the same guy who played Chief in One Foot of the Cuckoo's Nest, but he's a dead ringer for him. And that's pretty much kind of his role.
Ewan, I don't need to see your crotch, mate.
For you to judge.
I thought it was... Wow, and then... Well, then again, I mean, I don't know what's worse. Him being thrown into a war here or being taken advantage of by everyone around him in train spotting.
Anyway, we're about to get some character development for the rest of the crew.
Wow, this guy's name is Chief here too. Wonderful. This guy's played by Eugene Braverock. He's a Canadian actor and a stuntman.
Wow, we got quite a lot of diversity. We got an Israeli, we got an American, a Scot, French, and a what was that other nation you said?
Canada. Wow, even Britain.
And a Canadian.
Oh yeah, hold on, this is important. Basically, this guy has some PTSD.
Gee,
Yeah.
PTSD in World War One. Imagine that. Although this is sadly back in the time when PTSD was not that well recognized.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the situation surrounding people with it is very good now, but yeah, it's better.
Oh, Brenda's in Mary and the Witches.
Shiroi, I have to show you Patch Adams.
God, why would you do that to her?
Because that movie has an interesting idea on how the medical community works.
Uh,
Jovo, but guys, what's wrong with death?
Should we?
a lot.
Shiroi. Why should a doctor, of all people, fear death? That's actually an argument used in that movie.
fuck you, whoever you are out there who wrote that crap.
Steve.
Anyway, move.
Anyway,
Wow,
yeah,
worse
fuck
handling
him.
of PTSD than Lapis.
Fuck him then.
yeah.
Anyway, Shira, I don't know if you were here when it happened, but yeah, Wonder Woman is starting to realize that the paradise she grew up with was not exactly how the world is.
Yeah.
It's only how her little bubble is.
Fun fact
Yeah.
also, Zack Snyder makes a brief cameo appearance in this movie as an unnamed soldier.
Stories like this are nothing new to
One
me.
particular thing that I really like about I don't know if Patty Jenkins saw Paths of Glory, but the way she shoots the trench scenes is very similar to the way Kubrick shot the scenes in Paths of Glory. So I have to wonder if she took inspiration from that as well.
A lot of pullback shots.
Yeah. Help, please help. They've taken everything. Homes, food. The ones who couldn't escape. They took as slaves.
Where did this happen?
Well, on the other side of no man's land.
Huh.
Don't worry, there's actually stuff to do in there.
Oh yeah, there was plenty to do in No Man's Land. Oh, you know, I actually have a fun fact here. Back during World War One.
I love this one. This is one of my favorite moments in the entire movie.
Oh, true, yeah.
Basically, she said, "Why don't you just jump in there and go beat her?" Because that's not how it is. Listen.
He sounds a bit like Bill Murray in this scene.
Oh yeah, this is back when machine guns were new.
You see that? You see,
Yeah.
Diana? No, not everybody has superpowers. So come on. True. You can't save everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't all made out
Well,
of clay, you know.
But I had other plans.
Diana had nothing of that shit.
No.
First, a little screw you to anyone saying that a woman has to tie her hair to be action-filled. Hell yeah.
But
You want something done right, you gotta do it yourself.
Amen.
yeah, yes.
And
So there you go. For the first time ever in live action, Wonder Woman in full costume, fighting for good.
also,
You cannot do that here.
Pedro, about Batman v Superman.
We don't talk about that.
Officially.
well,
don't
that,
okay,
that never happened.
okay, to be fair,
Standalone.
to be fair, the best scenes in Batman v Superman were with Wonder Woman, especially that funny scene. Is she with you? I thought she was with you. Like,
It's funny, but by the time we,
Well, that.
yeah, the trailer kind of ruined that. Honestly,
yeah.
if you ask
You
me.
know, I'll say it again and I'll say it before. Batman v Superman should have been a Trinity film. Like, seriously, the Trinity comics are some of the best DC gets. Why? Because it's Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman just getting to be the free, either in action or just daily life stuff.
All right, then. I guess that's
This
our
guy-
movie.
Inspired.
This guy can't believe it.
Now, that said, speaking about that scene, this scene is really great. Why? Because, well, okay, the Wonder Woman scene in Batman v Superman is, in my experience, every time I was in the theater to see that, the crowd cheered for that. Not only because Wonder Woman was awesome, but because she had a great, awesome musical theme. That music theme returns here, and this
And
time
that
it's a
theme is
full,
about to-
it's a full
Yeah.
version. Just listen.
Yeah, her theme from Batman v Superman was the only good piece of music in that movie, and I'm really glad it returns as the main theme of this one.
Junkie XL didn't
You
do
will
the score.
eventually run out of
Now,
bullets.
okay.
It's
That-
funny you mention that because Junkie XL didn't do the score for this one. It was actually Rupert Gregson Williams.
AKA Harry Gregson Williams' brother.
So,
Who
yeah.
up to this point had mainly been doing comedies, and now here he's doing a big budget blockbuster.
So
Yeah, the basic strategy is that Diana will, of course, take
He's
go
the tank. And the
is
other
the
goal
tank.
DPS.
Yeah.
The idea with trench warfare was that if you were lucky, you could advance a little bit every now and then. Chances are you get pushed back because it took forever to build a trench. Now, a little fun fact about No Man's Land. See, in the middle of World War I, an unnamed British soldier gunned down a German field officer, but, in about a pity, he let that German field messenger go. That German field messenger was none other than Adolf Hitler, who that British soldier let live. The irony.
There we go, guys. We took over the German trenches.
In less than 5 minutes.
Helps when you have an Amazon Wonder on your side.
Yeah.
Here we go. This
boy, here we go.
It's in this upcoming action scene where we finally get to hear the Wonder Woman theme.
Believe it or not, they actually pay some homage to the old Linda Carter.
That's reaction. So, yeah, do what she says.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go. So, awesome scene.
And cue.
Come here often? This...
maybe we should try shooting somewhere else.
Tickled. See, the reason I love that theme, it's the perfect mixture of orchestra and rock with a great bout of strings here, and they even pay some tiny little audio homage to the old classic Wonder Woman theme from the Linda Carter era. That's badass.
Pixie actually grew up watching the Linda Carter show with her mother, and I showed her this movie and she loved it.
Yeah. But my mom's name is Linda, so she kind of got compared to Linda Carter back in the day. Go figure.
Of course.
So it's kind of like how every kid named Doug back in the 90s with Doug.
The difference is that getting compared to Linda Carter was flipping awesome. Getting compared to Doug was.
Yes, Sherry?
Yeah, it's like my mom's friend Eileen, who absolutely fucking hates that one song.
Oh yeah, come on, Eileen.
Yeah.
Oh really? I thought she hated.
Diana, we need your tank abilities now.
I thought she hated "Let It Go," which is sung by a woman named Irene.
Edina.
Edina.
Jesus
Christ.
Fuck this shit.
Wow, that was like the equivalent of a table flip. Only.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jesus Christ.
Okay, why has nobody made that a GIF for when someone gets pissed off at E3?
We'll do it this year.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get onto it. My idea. You heard it right here.
Didn't this movie come out, after E3, or is that
Before? Actually,
it came out
in May, if I remember correctly.
May of last year.
Yeah, I think. It got released in May.
We'll do it this year
no,
at the Sony conference.
It got released in June in the US.
Or Microsoft.
Oh shit.
Sniper. And they've got a very
campers.
powerful gun, too.
I've seen
Don't you just say those Filipino scopers?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
I've
hey.
seen Full Metal Jacket. That can never end well.
But hey, surely our sniper on the team can handle it just fine, right?
Oh my god, they're just doing the Irving scene from Final Fantasy VIII. He cannot shoot for some reason.
Oh, of course. The snipers, the train spotting guy. This will go down well.
Shield. I love this plan.
Use it Crash Bandicoot style!
Boing.
Terria!
Physics.
Bounce pad.
What are physics?
Jesus, you just demolished the Temple of God. Shame on you.
It's okay, there was only one guy in there, and he was a bad guy.
So he should die.
Yes.
And that was Wonder Woman. Guys, what are your final thoughts?
That was a great movie.
I'm looking forward to the sequel. And yeah, doesn't her dying kind of cause a time paradox?
Symbolism, because Zack Snyder.
Honestly, I'll take the symbolism because it's actually earned. And
Zack Snyder only wrote the story too, so...
I don't know, this kind of symbolism kinda has his print on it.
Well, yeah, he was the producer, so.
To be fair, symbolism is hardly unique to him anyway. And like I said, here it actually works and also does fit in with the story. Oh,
Sure,
and
sure.
here
And
is...
there you go.
That's the photo we made.
There you go. This is where they took the photo that we saw at the beginning of the movie, and in Batman v Superman.
I think I
Like,
know
looks a bit
that
like John
photographer.
That guy looks a bit like John Hurt. I know it's
Yeah.
Might have been.
Weird.
I know he isn't, but
Let me
quite a
see.
lookalike.
There are quite a few guest star actors. Let's see. There's Mei Ling Nig, Florence Kasamba, Madeline Val Weijner, Haley Jane Lawrence.
Oh, listen here. Some... Yeah.
Yeah. Since, doing machinery, believe it or not, back in the day, that was considered women's work, hence stuff like Rosie O'Donnell and whatnot. If you were a man and you stayed behind, you were either considered a pussy or you were one of the rich businessmen. If you weren't either words, you were looked down upon or drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How convenient. What?
wow, that was quick.
The armistice. Surely that will be a well-documented, well-put-together compromise. Oh wait, even America didn't actually agree to it.
Yeah, sure.
Uh-oh.
And enough about the eerie shit.
Well, remember, Dwebs, Chris Pine is American, so you have to do Americanized British.
Eh? Wait.
I did.
Wait, why Americanized British? He's not even British. He's American.
Right, Chris Pine. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but he's
Well, even his character is American here.
Well, yeah, but
He's an American who got relegated to the British side. That was a thing in World War One, especially when America was getting into terms with its European cousins, thanks to the Lusitania.
Anyway, celebrations.
Yay! Let's get wasted.
Well, one of your wait a minute. They're getting drunk and one of them's a Scot. That's kind of a stereotype.
Well, honestly, I think when you're in the middle of a world war, all you really want to do is get fucked.
Get smashed, yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah. Reportedly, a lot of the soldiers made use of drugs in order to, withstand the battles.
And in regards to getting fudged, you're right. Well, the baby boom did occur after World War II. It's like, okay.
Jova fucked is also a British term for saying get
Wasted
absolutely
on alcohol.
wasted, yeah.
So how do you specify between the two when you're trying to lose someone?
I don't think we do.
Jova, that's like my country's 1,000 words that are used for double entendre purposes.
Anyway.
Yeah. Double entendres are great.
Just...
Among many things.
Anyway, Steve is inviting Diana for that.
It would be quite a shame if after everything she studied, she doesn't know how to dance.
Basically, Diana wants to go to this big gala thing where she thinks Ares might be there. So Steve is gonna teach her how to dance because, well, if she's going to a gala, then she needs to learn, right?
And this is the moment where they fall in love.
Beauty and the well, in this case, it's beauty.
What helps is that they've gotten to know each other over a long enough period of time.
Not to mention, this is the first man she sees, so obviously it's gonna be a bit.
What song is that they're playing?
I can't quite hear it.
It's you and Bremner doing a Scottish song from the sound of it. Oh yeah, it's a song called "I'll Walk Beside You" or "Green Grow the Rash Chisel." Yeah, Ian Bremner's a musician as well.
And Patty Jenkins brought it for the Snow Machine to make this extra romantic.
Aww.
It's like the rose petals in anime.
Yes, the cherry blossom.
Okay, the fact that this movie is getting a sequel and the upcoming Flashpoint one, I hope that they pull a DC Rebirth. What's a DC Rebirth, you ask? Well, part of the reason DC Comics are better than Marvel Comics currently is the fact that with DC Rebirth, they didn't completely undo New 52. No, what they did is that they brought back the older continuities that people like better, and they merged a bit with the New 52 stuff that actually did work. Which is why I'm convinced that if...
Let's listen here for a bit, though.
They weren't saying much, okay. The usual married couple.
Yeah.
That's all they do. Poor guy.
Yeah, no clue.
I hope I get to find out what it's like.
I'm actually wondering, since this is a nationally diverse cast that they got here, I wonder what each nation thought of the representation. I can imagine what the Scots thought of theirs. Drunk, but they play music and sing Scottish folk songs.
What helps is that each nation gets to be awesome for the most part in this movie.
So,
I could tell you what a lot of people on the internet thought, but I don't want to bring this commentary down.
So, Diana, are we going to sleep together again?
Sure, why not? I see absolutely no problem. We're two well-grown, mature adults.
But you're like thousands of years old. I'm like 35.
Well, actually, no, Dwebs, she's not.
She's more like in her hundreds. Actually, it's a bit weird. Like, I don't know if she ages to adulthood normally, and then afterwards, as an adult, that's when it slows down.
I wonder what it's like when she has to apply for a driving license. Born 1805.
That's also the thing now. If you already watched Batman v Superman, or if you know the mythos already, you already can guess what the dilemma also will be on the long run. Wonder Woman not aging means that she will have to live with the tragedy of the people around her aging rapidly and eventually die.
It's like the Captain America thing.
Yeah, where he gets catapulted 70 years into the future, and where Peggy is literally so old to the point where she's almost dying, and because of her horrible memory, he can barely even talk to her because she forgets about him immediately.
Thank goodness she doesn't have a daughter who conveniently looks like her in her younger years, like that other Captain America movie.
We don't talk about that, Joel.
Actually,
well, to be fair to you, even the Captain America movie referenced it.
I hate the movie. Don't mention it in my presence.
Is that the Heil Hitler one?
Yes.
Yes.
That's how the movie actually referenced
really
that.
bad.
Let's just say, Shiroi, the MCU saved Captain America movie-wise. And actually, not even just movie-wise, Captain America in general, considering how Marvel Comics treats him nowadays.
Like, for instance, Shiroi, Captain America is currently a sleeper agent for the Nazis in the comics.
Yeah.
But enough about that. Trust me, I have plenty of things I could
focus on something good for.
Yeah, like that serenade.
Okay, now they're about
All
to.
right, I'm better.
Like that serenade we had for a second.
Now here's something that'll help cheer you up. They're about to do some homage to Indiana Jones. So the idea is that Ludendorff is actually Ares, the god of war in disguise.
Yeah, basically, Shiroi, that evil general guy, he's supposedly Ares in disguise. So let's see if he is.
I always do love stories like these that make actual historical figures out to be these evil, mystical forces of evil or good.
Well, that's typical comic book stuff.
Did anyone else hear the music get beating up for a bit? Now, how do we get in looking like the American supermodel, Captain Kirk from Star Trek, Chief from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, that guy from Trainspotting, and, what was the other guy from?
It really makes you wonder, though.
What?
Considering how well written this movie is, and yet David Goyer was given both David Goyer and Chris Terrio were given pretty much the reins of all the main stuff. Why not just get Alan Einberg to be in charge of the main stuff? Like, see, he clearly actually knows what he's doing.
I guess it would depend on whether maybe they offered it to him, but he refused. I don't know.
Well, we don't know that. I've never read anything confirming that.
No. I'm speculating. I'm not saying anything.
That's just because Alan Einberg, aside from being, of course, a comic book writer, so obviously he knows his stuff, but he can actually fucking write.
Mm-hmm. Now, there could be multiple things, like maybe he was a candidate, but he can only really do good for Wonder Woman. Again, we have no way of knowing. It's a really big bout of speculation. One advantage Goyer does have is like, well, yeah, he's had a few flubs, but he's had more variety than Einberg. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see Einberg give a try. The only thing is like, well, we've just seen him do good with Wonder Woman here, like, well, and if he's not good with, superheroes outside Wonder Woman, I can see there being a problem.
That's one. Yeah, he even has a pipe and everything.
Yes.
Alright, let's see if he passes good as a German official.
Ottoman. Wow, Chris Pine can do a pretty good German accent. The sad thing is that the Ottomans were kind of the butt of a few jokes in World War One.
Yeah.
Like, one of their initiatives that they tried to do not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times ended in failure each time.
But what's that little setup they got going on there?
Yes.
Oh, I know this one.
This bit.
Check this out.
Well, if I ever have 2 descendants, remind me to teach them how to ride side saddle, because obviously cars are not the way of the future.
Oh, here we go.
Just measuring you. Yep, that's right. Someone's gonna
Can I borrow your dress?
One of us is going to have to listen.
That appearance was a bit familiar. Do we know what she was called, or she was just a passing NPC?
Passing NPC.
Question
Okay.
is that what Dr. Poison looks like in the comics?
I don't remember.
Let me look it up. Let's see. Anyway, look. One of us is going to have to change, and it's not going to me. And in fact, you know what? I can't even change. I have to wear your dress over my gown, so,
You still there, Shiro, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't you just hate it when another woman comes up to you and just asks you to strip?
yeah.
Well, it's important.
Also, another good thing this movie does in remembering it's a comic book movie, they literally have a character named Dr. Poison, and they run with it. Like,
We women only have to put up with shit like that in extreme circumstances.
Exactly. Kind of like how that's going back to what you were saying about that, Jova. Again, it's another main problem I have with that. Sorry, actually, it was Wibbs was saying it. It's another problem I have with that stupid '90s movie. Wibbs, the fact that he's called Red Skull, and yet for the most of the movie, he's not a fucking Red Skull.
yeah.
It's ironic.
It's called him Skolin or something.
That sounds weird. Have I met you before?
Look, this is getting awkward. Can we get back to the point where we hijack this party?
Please.
I swear I've seen you before.
This is not Inglourious Bastard. You're in the wrong movie.
Right. If
Yeah,
I didn't know better,
whoa.
I'd tell you were trying to seduce me. It feels weird because most men find my face a little intimidating.
I have a thing for women with messed up faces for some reason.
To each his own fetish, Pedro.
There's a fetish for everything.
Oh,
apparently during reshoots of this movie, Gal Gadot was 5 months pregnant. So the crew had to make another costume so that the green screen had a green screen around her belly so that they could remove her being pregnant.
People aren't allowed to be pregnant in this.
Could you imagine if they hadn't edited out that? I can just imagine the fan theories.
Yeah.
Nobody mind.
Again, the further Diana stays away from Clark, the better.
Also, you need to do a better job at hiding that sword of yours, lady.
Yeah.
Just swallow it or something.
Alright, Colonel, isn't that woman wearing...
Dweb, she's not the Emperor from the first Dragon Ball OVA, come on.
Incline Fräulein, isn't that Fräulein wearing a dress similar to the one of the Fruzy you invited here?
Oh yeah, another fun fact. Apparently Patty Jenkins was in talks with Warner Brothers to direct a Wonder Woman movie as far back as 2005, but she unexpectedly became pregnant, so she had to step down, and 12 years later...
Well, yeah, fun fact actually, because she had to step down, what ended up being made? The Wonder Woman pilot.
Yay.
Friggin' do. Although to be fair, like I said before, that was actually it's a fun watch.
It is.
So hang on a second. Yeah, hang on a second. This film got banned in Lebanon because Gal Gadot is Israeli, and yet they didn't ban Batman v Superman.
I guess it's because she's a leading actress.
She's Israeli and has boobs.
Diana, this is not the best place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not a matter of not believing you, it's just that you have to consider the fact that you can be wrong.
And diplomacy, like, whether or not you're right or wrong, you kill someone near the time of signing an armistice, that is going to screw the pooch majorly, and
Oh shit.
Unfortunately, they're firing...
Yeah, they're firing gas, basically. Gas bombs, basically.
And I believe it's the village that they were just in not too long ago, was it?
Oops.
By the way, if anyone finds a young blonde stranding, don't worry, she's naked but unharmed.
Oh, there you go. And this is the big culmination of her realizing how horrible the world is arc, basically. There you go. So now all those people who were thanking her and throwing a party for her, they're all dead. They're all dead.
They're all dead now. Well, shit. I mean, I could see it.
Well,
you may not want
you have to wait for the gas to... You may not want to.
Like, have you seen some World War I pics? They can be pretty gruesome.
Oh, I have. I did have history lessons.
Yeah, even though they mostly talk about World War II, we did touch upon World War I.
Yeah.
What have we become?
Did they not wear those masks?
Well, they didn't work.
And I don't think this village had really that much.
Yeah, Steve, you might wanna. Yeah.
Also, think about World Wars. Civilians tend to get...
let's see here. I love this one.
And Steve died.
Of course, we need this.
Yeah. I'll admit, I kind of groaned, but the way they actually do tackle this is pretty good. Like, trust me, I was groaning just as much as you were, Kyo, because I thought, okay, here we go. The point where Diana starts to think all men are fools and easily
No, not
corrupted.
just that. It's the Hollywood cliche of having the third act contrast that will separate the characters until the climax where we inevitably united. Oh, what the camera? What the fuck?
Fortunately, it's not going to be that long, too. It's not going to
Yeah.
be long until they pull back on that. Don't worry.
It's still like it's just like the latter reveal. It's pointless, and people should stop putting it in movies.
I will say, though, in this case, though, this is one of those cases where it's warranted because it helps Diana's overall growth as a character. Like, okay, let's be quite fair and honest. She was raised on an idealistic way of how the Amazons and the world looked. So far, ever since leaving Themyscira, that view has been shattered bit by bit by bit, and every time she has a bout of optimism, she's either told to stand down or shown that that is not the way the world works. So, when she actually does try to play by the world's rules, she finds that mass murder that she feels she could have prevented occurs. How would you feel if you were in her position? Like, again, it's a shame because, you know,
Hello.
I think what this movie showed me is like, well, I get that I'm annoyed by this sort of plot, but I realize it's because movies abuse it, not because it's actually in and of itself bad. Same with Liar Revealed. Yeah, I thought those don't work on me.
Ooh.
Well, time to find out if she's right.
Uh-oh.
Ah, that face.
Wow. Damn it, Danny. Again, I got it. Seriously, guys, I got it. Danny Houston's got a secret pent-up aggression over being in X-Men Origins.
That's the same people say about Killmonger from Fan 4 Stick. So yeah,
Nice
probably.
taking it all out on her.
He wants to see the world burn, after all. Well... Want a bet? I'll have you know, even though I was in Batman v Superman, my superhero movie was still liked better than yours.
But hey, at least you weren't in that four-stick movie, right?
Did she just block the sword with the...
With what?
Whatever.
Yes, because she's Wonder Woman, too.
In case you're wondering, too, yes, her boots are also armored in this version.
No, but the way he angled the tip of the sword, well, I think it was the belt of which it reflected.
Pretty much her whole outfit is armored, which is actually pretty practical.
This is one of the problems I have with her action stuff in Justice League, because she's proven herself so awesome and capable here, and Justice League kind of contradicts her capabilities here. But again, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll wait.
At this point, I'm wondering if we should include Shirai just so she can see. But,
Nah,
you know,
Shirai-
Alright,
said she
time
doesn't want to.
for the truth.
All right, let's see. Awesome.
What a ride!
Yeah, Sailor Moon bullshit.
Well, come on, Ted. We have to do the rite properly. It's
She has
tradition.
the tiara and everything.
Hmm?
Oh,
And the light. That damn Wonder Woman, they killed all the lights. Okay.
that,
So, all right. Let's look out the window. Is there any war going on?
Bit too easy, though, don't you think, guys?
and now
it's just like checking the weather, Dwibs.
And now I shall feel finally calmness in the air as color returns to the premise.
Sorry, sweetie, this ain't a Disney
Wait.
movie.
Hate to break it to you, but the cinematographer hasn't changed.
Yeah,
a lot.
hate to break it
I
to
wasn't
you,
asking for that
but
kind
Disney
of
hasn't
color.
bought you yet.
Mother told me that peace would be more peaceful looking than that.
You see, humans are what we call stubborn.
It's an interesting thing you say that, Shira, because Steve is about to finally break the truth to Diana that she's been trying to avoid. Let's just say this is actually probably my favorite interaction in the entire movie.
And yet the Wonder Woman and the pilot smiles about killing people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Listen here. Oh.
This just in. Legend of Titanic was a lie that you can blame everything on one bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you can actually blame on one guy, the director.
I don't know, Tio. He had financiers.
What was it? Was it Camilo, the guy from
Camillo
Mondo.
Tetti.
Yeah, was it that guy?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know, Tio. He had financiers.
Hashtag fuck you, Camilo.
And he had Korea helping out with the animation.
Apologies, audience. We understand the meaning of the scene, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, what helps the scene is like, well, again, Wonder Woman starts to think...
So there you go. That was a primary reason for that trope, so that we can break the truth to Diana.
And it was done in a way that wasn't cringeworthy. And you know what also helps is like, well, you may notice how briefly she blamed man to be the problem. That's kind of a thing. Some wars have her be all about blaming men. What helps this is like, well, instead of it being her main driving thing for like the majority of the comic or movie in a case, here it's a brief phase that actually does help because, well, it's pretty much depression she's dealing with. Denial, grief, rage, the whole kid.
Yeah, basically. So if that was not Ares, who and where is Ares?
Yes, it's Dr. Poison.
If only.
Oh,
Wait for it.
Of course.
Dr. Loop.
It's actually kind of obvious when you look back, but watch, that's hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. People had ostracized me for being a werewolf. Well, who's laughing now, bitches?
What are you even talking about?
You're wrong script, dude.
This is secretly his revenge against the Warner Brothers. Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, it's stuck on the general.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Remove your mask, gentlemen, please.
So yeah, Steve and his crew decide to move on with the plan since Diana's a bit in a thing.
She was having heroic BSOD, heroic blue screen of death.
Hey, I don't recognize them soldiers. Fire!
Oh, at least he was polite to let her get the sword.
And now Diana's about to have her entire world shattered by this revelation coming up.
Again.
Even more. What I like about this
I swear, it feels like this guy's been waiting to play the villain for a while.
Yeah. What I like about this part is that Ares is going to use what she just learned from Steve to his advantage, as you're about to see.
Yep.
I get to do my speech.
Yes.
I finally get to be a bad guy. Yeah.
And also teleporting like Gano in the Legend of Zelda cartoon.
Alright.
Oh shit.
So much for the Sacred Sword.
Yeah, this just in prophecies are BS.
Yeah.
Who could have guessed?
Yep. Turns out he did not kill the gods.
The sword is not the sword, the god killer. She is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
I am. That's the thing, Diana. He is.
Oh, snap.
Now he's just very good at withstanding pain. Come on, tell the truth.
Wait, he's a god. He could probably hold off that. Whip.
Actually, no.
Nothing.
That lasso was made by a god.
By the gods, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have thought him being a god, he would have been able to withstand that.
Considering that the gods were against Ares, I highly doubt that. Anyway. Yep.
I ended up even looking like a 300 character.
Yeah. So the deal is that Ares actually wanted to quote-unquote save the world from man.
Save it by destroying it, of
So
course.
he's been murmuring all the.
Well, he is the god. Well, he is the god of
going
war.
around- He's been going all around, all around for all these years, murmuring bad ideas in people's heads.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And it turns out he may not have been the one who killed all the gods. Technically speaking. The gods...
Is he right?
the
Is
god-
he right? But
See, in an interesting twist, the gods kind of gave up their life's essence for Diana, so there's a little bit of each of them in her.
Isn't that the origin story of the New 52?
This is why I say to you, this is a mixture of lores that actually come together to work. Because, okay,
Yeah.
yes. Now, in most lores, the gods are actually there and alive, which kind of opens up a few plot holes, not gonna lie. Like, seriously. A lot of problems could be solved. Here, this one has the best of both worlds. The gods are dead, but alive in a sense that tiny bits of their power are in Diana. So it makes sense that she has these powers. Why she may pray to them in a metaphorical sense, but she can't call on them to just solve the problem. Whereas Ares was weakened enough to the point where he has been having to build his power up. Unfortunately, the growing wars have given him power. Which makes me wonder, does that mean Hades also got killed? Like, the irony, the freaking irony.
not to mention Shiroi, if he didn't do it by destroying it, what kind of god of war would he be?
Basically, the rule of thumb is this. The bad guy will either be Ares or Hades. Or both.
And now Lupin gets to show off his
Magneto
All right,
skills?
time for the big action climax.
What is it with Brits having magnetic abilities?
because we do.
It's like
Because,
that.
look, because Jobo, half of the fun of being a god is impressing mortals with your magic.
Yeah, this reminds me of that Jaguar commercial that went over why British are evil.
Oh please, Diana, you think you can kill me with your ropey thing?
Please. I'll have you know that I instructed the one boy who killed Lord Voldemort. Well, actually used an Expelliarmus spell to take him out. And yeah, David Foulis, I gotta say, gives 110% by being dangerously quiet, surprisingly. Yeah, know to pick your
Yeah.
battles.
That looks like a homing shot, Wonder
But
Woman.
there is one thing we can do.
Stop
The
the
mission?
plane from
Just like
stop
in
the-
Captain America, First Avenger, we gotta stop a plane.
Yeah, stop the plane from carrying all those weapons.
Oh boy.
Always on a timer with these bad guys.
We're gonna need some tension for the climax.
It's also, to be fair, story-wise, it makes sense that it's set on a timer, strategically so that an enemy can't easily just take it down.
Yeah.
Huh. About where a timer actually makes sense in a villain plot. Not bad. Uh-oh.
So yeah, Steve is gonna risk it all.
So, another guy named Steve is risking his life, involving a plane that is deadly to nations. He also kind of looks a bit like Chris Evans as Captain America.
And we're fighting a villain from a big Warner Brothers franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I know this one.
This bit.
Because of the blast, she's temporarily deaf, so she can't quite hear very well what he said. But don't worry, we'll see exactly what he says here.
Mhm.
Good job. It's good job Steve Austin in this movie. They go, what?
Surprised they didn't taught her how to read the lips.
Uh-oh.
You want me to tell you the time?
Steve, wait! Maybe I could fly the plane instead!
You're not a qualified pilot.
Well, Oh crud, I don't have an invisible plane in this one.
Well, don't worry, Diana. That was
And
silly
now
to
we're in
begin
the
with.
finale of Chicken Run.
Oh, you've seen Chicken
No.
Run.
Eh.
I like that movie. Do you, Siri?
I like the animation because, well, it's Aardman, but the story is just so cliche.
Oh, you mean...
It's the Great Escape with a bit of steroids.
It was the lie revealed before that trope got cliched.
Yeah.
And I do like it, but I will admit, I can understand
There
why
you
some
go.
may not.
So I'll tell you, what do you think of Aris's look in this one?
Classic. It was, to be fair, his traditional armor, it's easy to reinterpret for a movie.
Essentially, his armor is made out of, go figure, gunmetal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do I do? Do I crash the plane? Do I,
We're survivors.
Yeah.
Don't you see that, Diana? Don't you see? Together we can end this destructive conflict.
Yes, I'm sure
Join
that's the
me.
exact same thing you said to my father before you killed him.
Well,
I love how villains always think, yes, the child whose parents I viciously murdered is totally gonna be on board with joining me. I mean, at least give Darth Vader credit, he was actually the kid's father.
and I'm assuming Dr. Death died.
Dr. Poison.
Dr. Poison, sorry.
oh come on, Jova. I'm sure that would it would be so stupid. It would be like if Peter joined forces with the Jackal, right?
I hate the Clone Saga. I mean, not only did that thing go for way too long, it is what led up to a lot of the stupidest plot points. It couldn't have gotten worse than that, and then One More Day in Civil War came. Well, it couldn't have gotten worse than that, and then Superior Spider-Man.
Haha.
It really is telling how literally anything outside of the live-action movies from Marvel just is incredibly lacking.
Yeah.
I must say, Diana, you look good on those tights. Huh? Huh?
Why don't you let me out so I can really show you?
Oh,
So-
come on, see. I'm a god, therefore I have godly sense of humor.
Of course.
Yes, how nice. So, all hope seems really lost. However, Steve has got the plane going.
Excuse
this is
me, who's
good.
flying the plane?
So yeah, there's only one way to stop the plane at this point.
I actually like this being Chris Pine does.
Quick!
Yeah, laughing about, oh shit, there's no way out. This is the...
Yeah. And there's no Arctic to fly it to.
Not even the autopilot, but Batman using Dark Knight
kamikaze
Rises.
into the ocean, or
He's gonna
Yeah.
have to fire.
Yeah.
And... Yep, up.
Mm-hmm. No.
No. Ding.
I'm gonna
no.
admit, I was legit surprised. Like, I thought, okay, obviously he ended up dying from old age, but No,
And guess what? This, of course, triggers her in a rage attack, and she just starts
Oh my
mindlessly.
god, she's becoming Super Saiyan.
So yeah, now she starts, in the fit of rage, she starts attacking everybody who shows up in front of her, just like Ares planned.
Mm-hmm.
However,
that includes him as well.
No, wait, listen.
You'll see. She all right.
This movie made me realize how much I wanted to see David Foulis play a bad guy, and I never realized it before.
A question though.
What?
Mm-hmm.
David Foulis already has a pretty menacing voice. Why did he need to alter it?
Because
Well,
because
it's because
he-
he's
because
got
the
the
Ares-
armor
It needs
on.
to sound more epic.
The Ares that needs to sound more, how should I put it, booming, Dwebs. You can't exactly have Ares sound like a British old guy.
Also, has he ever done any other villain roles outside of this? This is
Dwebs, imagine if we had a big villain with an armor who sounded like Professor Layton.
not to mention. So now here's the thing: Diana now has a choice
Here you go. Yeah.
to kill Dr. Poison, the woman who's pretty much responsible for all this.
It's like the
No, sure, hold on. Here you go. Unworthy of your sympathy, like he said. But hold on.
do it.
You
Just do
immortal.
it.
Nah, I'm not gonna make that joke.
I'm sorry.
Flashback. So let's see what he said.
The script says so.
It's
No,
funny.
it makes sense to us because again she has to stay here to stop Ares.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying it. The script says I had to.
There you go.
The last words.
Aww.
Aw.
She now knows truly what love is. Yeah, fun thing.
Love conquers all.
Here you go. You're wrong about them.
We.
Screw this!
Here you go. Listen here. You're starting to see that his plan failed.
Yeah.
So now it's just like, I'm gonna kill you now.
Wakanda forever! Oh, sorry. Wrong bit.
Wrong company, Jova.
No, my prize helmet.
Yes. Go on and answer about your unlimited power.
Is that about deserve?
You know, you could actually use that to summarize Superman, Batman, and
This
Wonder
actually-
Woman.
This is what's great about that what Wonder Woman just said is that again it's very important that Alan Heinberg really gets Wonder Woman because the whole thing about Wonder Woman is the fact that she's she's all about that. She's all about love, the love between people.
Like heck, I mean, during the Blackest Night era, when she finds out she's in love with Batman, she becomes a Star Sapphire, which saves her from being a Black Lantern. For those who don't know, being a Black Lantern pretty much means you're a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
When the creator of Wonder Woman originally created was to demonstrate how women are incredibly capable of empathy and understanding of how love will save the world and stuff like that.
Now, what
And
is my
again,
love
this is staying
destroys you
true
with
to that
lightning?
original vision.
Yeah, draft have been foiled by the power of love. Yeah.
But yeah, here's another thing.
Well,
This,
that's
Now-
kind of what Roman.
I know.
Now that
It's
brings me-
better than in other movies.
now that brings me to another thing this movie brings back, that this was actually a thing that a lot of lores didn't remember. Yeah, a lot of lores, the Amazons are about bringing order to the world, but one thing a lot of lores forget is that they're also about bringing and teaching the wisdoms of love, too. Which, yes, as corny as it sounds, is kind of an integral thing. So yeah, I appreciate this movie for remembering its roots there.
Yeah.
But where did the I
So,
was just going to ask, where did the French, the Canadian, and the Scots go?
Diana, turns out your mother lied to you, your father kind of gave up his life completely for you, and you just had to kill your uncle who kind of killed your boyfriend. Had a good day so far? That's literally what just happened, like, dang.
What a sucky Friday.
Like, Oedipus eats your heart
Coming
out.
this weekend on Jerry Springer.
Ares killed my boyfriend. DNA test revealed.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not kidding actually. It turns out, yeah, the Amazons did have a mission, but now Diana has figured out that they were the ones that chickened out on it. Go figure. It's a lot to take in.
Where did Dr. Poison go though?
She ran
ran
off.
away.
Like I
She
said,
ran
screw
off.
this. I wonder if she'll show up in the sequel. Or her ancestor, probably.
Yay, celebration.
Back in Britain.
Yep.
With some US flags too.
Yeah, World War I was won.
Mm-hmm.
The Great War over. You think that kiss is something? Wait till you see the kiss for World War II. Wait, there's gonna be a World War II?
Yes. That's not spoilers.
I asked her.
So I guess this is London on a happy day. Still grey.
And here's the moral of all the brave people who died during the war.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of those photos are actually stock photos.
Oh yeah, some of them are. That's another thing. For as stupid as World War I was, it was one of the first wars where mass sympathy was, realized. Sadly, post-war, but all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out later in the continuity, Ben Affleck worked for Pearl Harbor. Like, dang it. What is up with these movies messing up with the superhero continuities?
Also, remember, Jerry, Ewan Bremner was also in Pearl Harbor.
Wow. These connections, it's just, what the heck?
And there you go. Since Diana doesn't age, she's remained the same while all of her friends from back then have died by this point, 70 years later.
Either that, or they're really, really,
Or
really
rather,
old.
watch it's World War One, so I guess it'll be like 90 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, it's 100, go figure, since World War One ended in 19...
Oh yeah, right, 100 then.
Yeah, Pedro, it's...
Not an historian.
Again, that's why
Not
the
just
Great
that.
War YouTube channel started its show in 2014, 100 years from the World
It's
War
also
One
the
start.
passage of time.
So there you go. She's been dedicating herself to
Preservation.
Not
Yeah.
only that, but also teaching again, like she said.
Oh, she's mailing Bruce Wayne.
Thanks for bringing him back to me.
Hashtag lol, my movie's better.
Now, here's an interesting twist. Instead of looking after whatever city she normally does, here she's actually the protector of London and France.
So there you go. All right, time to go save the world again.
Which is kind of ironic because her outfit kind of is the Star-Spangled whatever, banner.
Cue the Wonder Woman theme.
Oh, yeah!
By the way, where am I gonna land? Oh no!
Actually, she can fly.
Yeah, that's right. That's one thing she learned over
And before you ask, no, there's no after credits scene. Ben Affleck does not come to ask her to join the Justice League because she's already in it.
Aww.
She's already in it.
Hell, she helped form it.
So Shiroi, since you're the newest one here, how about you go first?
That was awesome.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what else I have to say since I'm entirely new to this, although saying that, considering what you've told me about how her backstory has always worked, I guess everyone else was new to this too when they first watched
I
it.
mean, it is technically a mixture, but yes, it's a new, fresh continuity to add to the bout.
Yeah, sure. Like I always say, be true to the spirit, not the details.
Yeah, because let's be quite honest, look, the original details of the Golden Age were well-intentioned, but even then they were ironically sexist.
Mm-hmm.
Against
I think
men,
it's
more
nice-
so, go figure.
Which is why it bothers me when
Yeah.
that fuck people try to defend Batman v Superman by saying, "Oh, did you know Golden Age Batman killed people?" Well, that's the
calm
reason
down,
why we
Pedro.
don't do that
Calm
anymore.
down, calm down, calm
Sorry.
down, calm down.
Sorry.
That
No, but
movie's fast.
we just watched a fun movie, okay?
I know.
Calm down.
I know, Shira, but that's just the thing. Why can't they all be this good? Because right after this one, we went back to crap.
Well,
isn't Marvel,
okay.
that's why.
I wouldn't call Justice League. Again, I haven't seen it. It's frustrating. From what I heard from most
Don't
people,
worry,
it's
Joe.
not
I'll pick it as soon as I can. But go ahead.
right. And
Yeah,
go on, Sherry.
Oh. It was nice that they kind of steered away for some tropes there, because I've seen, like, we've all seen this story hundreds of times by now.
Yeah.
They didn't linger on the fact that she has a lot of curiosities. I mean, they were still present, but they moved away from those pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing of, the main cast being separated because of conflict, that only lasted a few minutes,
True.
so that's fine.
And it had a purpose anyway.
Yeah. And again, it's like it's fine. It's like one of the most harmless
Uses.
versions of this trope I've seen. So yeah, I can live with it. The action sequences are really fucking great, especially that second one in
Yeah.
the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. But yeah, it's nice. One thing I noticed, because I've heard a lot of quote criticisms about this movie, if you can call them that, and
Which ones?
the ones from those people we don't talk about.
Go on, Sherry.
Oh, okay. Go
it's
on.
I like how a lot of what I saw around online was forced diversity kind of fucking bullshit, but at the same time we're in a movie where our main quote empowering female protagonist is frequently put down by men because they did a pretty good job with representing the era that this actually took place in.
Yeah.
Because
I
it
guess
was actually shit for it. It's like, no, this isn't a men suck movie.
Yeah, that is one benefit of having it take place in the older days to show her struggles.
Don't
because-
worry, Shira. That only happens when Frank Miller writes Wonder Woman. To give it, just to give you an idea, Shiroi, there's literally a comic book where that literally starts with Wonder Woman literally shoving down a man from in front of her and literally saying, and I quote, "Out of my way, sperm bank." Yes,
Yeah.
someone wrote that and
And
did
got
not
paid
get
for
and
it.
did not get slapped in the face for being a moron.
I think
Ugh.
you actually told me that or showed me that. Maybe I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not even kidding. That's the worst line ever written in fiction history. I'm not even kidding. But go ahead, move on.
Yeah.
If you're involved in our commentaries of All-Star Batman and Robin, Sherry, let me say the dialogue is terribly delicious.
Sure.
Go ahead,
Anyway,
move on.
That was it from me. I mean, I haven't really seen the DC movies. That's probably not a bad thing.
Trust me, this is the only one worth seeing.
Well,
And it was
yeah.
a good one. It was a good one.
All right, Teo,
Yes,
since you're
you go next. Since
you're the one who hasn't seen this movie before, so what do you think?
So we're going from
Yeah.
one end of the spectrum to another. Shiroi, who is pretty much the least vested in comics, to Tia, who's the biggest comic book fan of us.
Go ahead,
Well,
Teo.
yeah, I enjoyed it pretty much all around. The only minor bit, honestly, could have been that the whole, contrast near the end that could have been handled better. But like you guys said, it's gone before you think too much about it, so I guess that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall enjoyed it. I wasn't. I never been a much of a reader of Wonder Woman comics, but since she's involved in frequent DC crossovers, I knew about her. besides I watch enough in-car reviews on the subject matter, like the Amazon's Attack or his entire retrospective about her, yeah, you should definitely go watch it. It's very informative.
And again, if you want to see Wonder Woman at some of her best, I'd say definitely look up Trinity. Again, it's essentially Batman and
general,
Superman, but
everything
with
that
all
Gail
three of them.
Simone- In general, everything that Gail Simone has wrote about her.
Not just that, but for as bad as the movie is, Batman v Superman's special features are really good and worth buying the Blu-ray. There's a retrospective on Wonder Woman that does a really great job in bringing newcomers up to speed with the history of her creation and shit like that.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So yeah, definitely the DC movie that I enjoyed the most. I mean, live action so far, and that's
Just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And there's that.
I
Next.
guess I'll go next.
Well, by far, this is the most critically successful entire DC.
Go ahead, Jova.
So yeah, folks, this was just an amazing movie from top to bottom, and this is why I'm confident that if that Flashpoint reboot does end up rebooting the universe, this will be what they keep DC Rebirth style. At least I'm hoping, especially with that sequel, because, okay, even if this team wasn't the one chosen to run the universe, what they've done with Wonder Woman here is nothing short of phenomenal. Like, everything works here. It's a good compromise of lore bits to pretty much, filter out the really stupid while making it clever here and there. I like how they don't run the thing with the Amazons into the ground. They avoid making the Amazons the ones we're supposed to side with all along. They recognize the flaws of the Amazons, yet they still remember the points that the Amazons themselves do have at times. I like how her mother is... Yes, her mother is strict, but she's not to the point where she banishes her every time she chooses to leave. That's good. And heck, even her aunt, even though she ends up dying and becoming the martyr, her aunt plays a purpose too. I guess my only wish is that I wish we could have seen more stuff from Dr. Poison as a villain, since Dr. Poison is one of her classic villains. But, hey, I mean, it still worked for what it was, and the fight with Ares was awesome. Oh yeah, I gotta say, David Thewlis was such a surprise villain, because at this time, I'd only seen him play roles where he's a good guy character, I didn't suspect him for once, but when you actually go back and rewatch the movie, it fits. The way he's like, no, don't go to the armistice. You think, oh, he's worried about them and the peace, but no, he realizes that if Wonder Woman, when she'd do, well, essentially what she did in the long run, it's a well choreographed and orchestrated twist, and he still makes her a great villain. Dang, he's awesome. And yes, I do like how this is a great origin film in the sense that the pacing is just the right point where it never stagnates. It helps that Wonder Woman is not a movie... Well, Wonder Woman's not often someone who gets the chance to be on the big screen in live action form, so that kind of helps.
This is her first, Jova, so...
Technically her second time on the live action screen, but yeah, her first...
Well, yeah, but in the big screen, like you said, no. This is her first time.
Batman v Superman,
and for the record, allow me to remind everybody that... there's been an attempt to bring Wonder Woman to the big screen for 70 years or so.
There was one that was in the works, but when the Green Lantern movie failed, it got canceled. Because, Lord knows, if Green Lantern fails, that means nobody will want to see Wonder Woman. But thankfully, those...
For the record,
have really bass-backwards way of dealing with...
For the record, this is the highest grossing DCU movie, if I remember correctly, isn't it, Whips?
Well, yeah, I think so, and it's also the highest rated one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it did like a billion times better than Justice League. Basically, she wrote Justice League, which was supposed to be the Avengers of this franchise, and it couldn't even reach half a billion or whatever.
And look to you,
It still didn't.
And look to you, according to the credits, even the Italians got to help out with the Italian tax credit device done for this movie. Contributions to something good. I'm trying. Really trying.
Well, could be worse. Sorry, Job. At least Italy doesn't have a shitty tax system that allows people like Uwe Boll to make shit movies. So
I forgot. Dweebs, where did they film this movie?
Checking now. They filmed it in. They filmed it in Kent, Australia House, and also places around southern Italy, such as the Sassi di Matra, Castellemonte, and Camerota.
Okay, I'll take that for myself anyway.
Anyway, going back to my thoughts anyway, yeah, this movie is a blast. And again, it knows how to tug at the heartstrings just right. The love story also is classic, but actually rather cute. It leaves you generally sad, but it also shows how she moves on, but learns to keep it to her as well. And it's just a really dang good film, and I'm looking forward to that Wonder Woman sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Do we have confirmation if Alan Einberg is also writing the sequel?
Let me see before I give my final thoughts. Sign for Free Films, Gal Gadot, Jeff Johns and apparently Jeff Johns and Patty Jenkins are working on a treatment for the sequel.
Oh, nice,
Oh,
Jeff
so
Johns.
so Patty's actually writing the sequel. Oh, that's cool.
Along with and recently they hired a guy named Dave Callahan to write the script as well, and his work includes Doom,
Yeah.
the first Expendables movie.
Oh,
Well,
that could work.
I like that one.
I was one of the 86 story writers for the 2014 Godzilla film.
All right.
Well, hey, look at the bright side. At least they've also got Jeff Johns, who's also a comic book writer, and he's definitely one of their betters.
And the villain of the film is Cheetah. played by Kristen Wiig.
Oh,
Which is
wow!
a weird
So
casting choice, but whatever.
I'm all fine for it.
And also-
Kristen Wiig can do it.
And also Pedro's in the movie.
Pedro Pascal.
Go ahead and do your final thoughts, Tips.
Alright. Well, it's definitely no secret. This is the best DCEU film we've had so far.
Surprising no one.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, the big surprise was, I mean, remember, Shiri, up till this point, every single female-led superhero absolute train wreck, ranging from Supergirl to
Yeah, that's right.
More-
Supergirl had a movie. I forgot about that.
ranging to more recently Elektra.
And there was Catwoman. That.
Oh, Elektra came out a year after. But yeah, I mean, but this is definitely what a lot of things needed. It's definitely what the DCEU needed. It's definitely what
The superhero
what
film community needed.
Yeah, it's definitely what women needed, because for years they've had to put up with, your gender hasn't made a good superhero film
Yeah.
since like 1984, or at least.
Mm-hmm.
And plus it is a good film in its own right, not just a good female-led superhero film.
Mm-hmm.
Although one thing I will say against it, I mean the main theme's good, but Ruby Gregson-Williams' score isn't really. But then again, when was the last time we've had a really memorable superhero film score? In the past few years.
I like Spider-Man Homecoming.
Well, that's one out of.
I liked Black
18.
Panthers.
Yeah, not really. I can't really remember much of that one.
And come
But
on, what about
anyway,
the Avengers theme?
I'd like
Anyway,
one theme out of 15, but anyway.
Okay, I digress.
Yeah. Bottom line, this is a really good film, and I was hoping this would be the example that the DCU would go on to follow.
And
And then Justice League came out like a few months later.
again, from what I've heard, Justice League is not bad. It's just good. And
No, it's not. It's
Nah,
not
it's bad.
really good. See, the thing about Justice League, Jova, here's the best way to describe it. It's better than BVS, and that's basically it. Anyway, are you done with?
Yeah.
All right, that leaves only me. Yeah, like I said, like everybody said, this is awesome, an awesome movie, and I'm so glad that at the very least this one escaped the DCU curse, at least. So it's an awesome movie, and this is exactly the same kind of quality, and that should have gone into fucking Man of Steel and didn't for some reason. If Man of Steel had been this good, things could have been different.
I have a
But-
bit of a theory,
But
actually.
we cannot have good things, I guess.
I have a bit of a theory, actually, if I may. Just for a quick bit. one difference I've noticed is like, well, since this was Wonder Woman's one of her first times actually getting to show her origin story, they actually for the most part kept true to the spirit. The problem with Batman and Superman, I think I realized, is that their origin stories have been told so much that I guess the DCEU felt that they had to really spice things up, and that's why they're different from what we expect. It's stupid, but that's the only reason I can imagine why, because that might also be why the Aquaman movie may turn out to be good, because it's getting its chance to actually tell its story, so it doesn't have to spice things up.
You see, Jova, here's the thing. I could understand that reasoning if you're talking about Spider-Man Homecoming, because Spider-Man Homecoming literally came out in 2017.
Well, I'm talking strictly about DC, because let me just put it this. Live action wise, DC does not know what the fuds they're doing. MCU knows how to do something new, spice things up, all that while keep it interesting. I'm just going into the DC thought patterns, especially since this was going off of New 52, which, well, okay, at the time it was going off of New 52. Nowadays it seems to be going more towards the DC we come and go and expect, and it's a real cluster fudge. I realize.
Yeah, but I was going somewhere with that though.
Sorry, go on.
Like I said, it's again with Spider-Man: Homecoming, it made sense to spice things up and go against what was expected because again, it's only been 5 years since 2012, which was when the first Amazing Spider-Man movie came out. So, hold on, there's however, by the time Man of Steel came out. If I remember correctly, the first Christopher Reeves movie came out in 1978. That's the correct year, I think. So it was literally almost not all. It was like 25 plus years after the first Christopher Reeves movie. So I failed to see the reason why we had to completely go against the typical origin story that we know of.
Because New 52 at the time, that's why. That is literally the reason why their costumes are like that of New 52. And like I said before, back then, that was a bad idea because, surprise, people didn't really grab on to most things of the New 52.
Yeah,
but that's a long tried and true story.
The point is, the movie's awesome, great story, great characters, the action is awesome, and it's just an overall great movie. And this is the example. And now let's see if Marvel can also deliver with their first female-led superhero movie, but Captain Marvel. I'm sure they will. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
They've got their work cut out for them based off of the comic book character, but I have faith.
We'll have as of the time of this recording, we have a year to wait.
Yeah, as of the time of this.
Oh, it's coming next year.
Anyway, everybody, see ya for Justice League.
I haven't.
Yay!
Shira is gonna run away, and she was gonna leave us to it, but and
why you abandoned Eagles?
It's that series that my mum said she thought was a part of Marvel in public.
Wait, she thought Justice League was a part of Marvel.
No, okay, let me explain. Basically, the thing about Justice League is that they attempted to be to rip off the MCU by incorporating a lot of jokes. As a result, they have the Flash, who's not the Barry Allen's Flash, who's not usually a comedic character, be all full of jokes, and let's just say it doesn't work. But anyway, we'll drain this out. Yeah. See you for Justice League, everybody.
See ya.
See ya. Well, I won't see you for that, but